Racing here at the Big O, the Ohsweken Speedway, ready for Case IH and O'Neill's Farm Equipment Night. Frankie Turkey Memorial as well. My name is Greg Kellen, with me Adam Ross, and tonight a fantastic night of racing is on deck. All four divisions, plus we got a bonus. We get to run last week's mini stock feature.
So the mini stock racers will be out for a feature event right off the bat. Lots of opportunity for these drivers to develop some hard feelings. Before we get into the second part of the program, Greg, what a beautiful night, a beautiful day. Fantastic racetrack. Jordan Hill has outdone himself with the work that he's done, and the weather seems to have gone around us. For no matter where you came from, you probably drove through weather to get here, but hasn't hit the speedway.
We've lived in a bubble so far, and we hope to keep it that way for the rest of the night as we get ready for Frankie Turkey Memorial Night here at the Big O. HRW Automotive Mini Stocks ready to go out on the speedway here for their makeup feature event from last Friday night. Aiden Nye will be on the pole for this one. In the 88 machine alongside of him is Pinball Mike Giberson. Pinball Mike Giberson out of Caledonia. Going from position number 3 out of Niagara Falls, the number 19, that'll be Trevor Want. Alongside him, the 54, Christopher French. Going from 5th from Hamilton, it'll be Brian Crosgrove, and from the 6th spot, Tim Newell in car number 26. Starting 7th from Guelph, it's Jason Tolton. And to his outside from 8th, Sean Iftani, Cheeseburger in car number 15. Going from 9th, Daniel McKay in the 13M machine. And starting in the 10th spot from Ancaster, car number 16 is Fabio Oliveri. Going from 11th, Rob Twitchett from Dundas. And going from the 12th spot, Jonathan Ayrton in car number 21. Starting 13th from Welland, the 7C is Cole Hardy. 14th, Zach Buchwald from Simcoe in car number 10. In the 15th starting spot, it's Martin Schroeder in car number 60. To his outside, Kevin Thorne in the number 360 from Caledonia. Starting in 17th from Waterford, it's Wade Thorne in car number 46. And going to his outside from the 18th spot, Tristan De Silva from Waterdown in the 01 machine. From 19th, Mike Sarantakos out of Smithville in the 6X. And to his outside, Ryan Hiller from New Hamburg in the 21H. Starting 21st from York, Ontario, it's Tim DeBoer in the 9. And at the outside, the 22nd starting spot from Ohsweken, the 177 is Tim Jamieson. Dusty DeBoer starts 23rd, 24th, Kyle Wirt, 25th, Jeremy May, 26th will be Cody Somerville, 27th is Mike Evers, and 28th will be Tom Cole as we get ready for this 15-lap feature event from last Friday night for the HRW Automotive Mini Stocks. Aiden Nye will lead them down into corner number 1 with Trevor Want in tow in that number 19T.
I don't think he needs an awful lot of help, Greg, but the 19 of Kyle Wirt being able to run a money-paying, points-paying feature event on this heavier racetrack, he loves it when you can just put your foot to the floor with that rear-wheel drive and steer that car. He's carving through traffic already.
Yeah, this is his Friday night rush hour traffic, and he's already making some nice moves. Oh, Mike Sarantakos goes around in corner number 1. Lucky not to clip the end of the wall down there to the entry of the corner. Stays down to a complete stop and is out of the way, so I believe we're going to stay green.
Well, Buchwald in the 10 got pretty aggressive from the looks of it out of turn 4. I'd like to see a look at that again, but definitely some contact there. And Sarantakos, like I said, they've got a little bit of time to make unfriendly here in the first feature, and then a whole night of racing yet to come.
Kyle Wirt already up to position number 13 from starting back in the mid-20s. So a good bit of driving so far by Kyle Wirt. He's kind of locked in right now behind Daniel McKay. He's got cars all down to the inside of it.
That's all right. He's got a front bumper. He gives Daniel McKay a push down the front stretch. He'll appreciate that. And then he drops to the inside to drive on by.
Plenty of great racing action mid-pack, as you see that right now. Jonathan Ayrton, Brian Crosgrove, Kyle Wirt right now. They are the action pack right now. As out in front we see Aiden Nye leading, and here's the replay under green of Mike Sarantakos going around.
Man, and that could have been awful for Dusty DeBoer. How about Sean Iftani, Cheeseburger in that number 15? He was on Facebook just a few days ago looking for engine parts or a car he could borrow to compete tonight.
Aiden Nye continuing to dominate here with Trevor Want right behind him, and it's side by side with Fabio Oliveri and Jason Tolton on his outside with 5 laps complete and 10 to go.
Tim DeBoer up the middle, and that Timson Auto number 9 looking for a lane. He had a good run. He got around Christopher French. Now Tristan De Silva and that Gibbs lets landscape together 0-1 to the inside of French. Down off of turn 4. Cole Hardy in the 7C running a lower line than just about anybody out there on the racetrack, but he's making it work for him.
Oh, Aiden Nye slow down in corners 1 and 2 after leading the first 5 laps is way off the pace and pulls it down into the infield. So heartbreak for Aiden Nye in the 88.
Kyle Wirt looking to break into the top 5. He had a notion to drive to the inside of Jonathan Eric, but I don't think he could keep the momentum on the bottom, so he tucked back up in line. He's going to try it again down through 1 and 2.
Good bit of racing back behind the top 3. Ayrton and Iftati. Kyle Wirt, the point leader, looks down low on Sean Iftati, takes the 5th position away as we got a good battle at the front.
Fabio Oliveri tickling the back bumper of Trevor Watt, the 19. They're about 8 car lengths ahead of Tolton, who's trying to hold off Jonathan Ayrton and Kyle Wirt. Wirt with a big run off of 2.
Put Fabio Oliveri now to the lead down at corner number 3. Want back to the 2nd spot. Now Kyle Wirt, as you mentioned, Adam, he's worked his way to 3rd. Clears Jason Tolton, setting his sights on the top 2 with now the 6 laps left to go.
Kyle McKenzie pointing the flag and his finger at Fabio Oliveri about his use of the front bumper, but he's out in front now. He doesn't have to worry about that. He has to worry about now what's behind him.
The driver making some nice progress. Cole Hardy up there alongside Jason Tolton.
Hard hit. Turn number 3. I believe that was Newell in the 26. He has come to rest on his driver's side door. Trying to remember who he was battling with, but he got turned right sideways. Newell moving around in the cockpit of the car. That will be a tricky, oh no, it won't. I thought it was up towards the wall to a point where it'd be hard to tip it back over, but it should come back down on its wheels fairly well. He gives the nod to the safety crew. Of course, they want to ask the driver if they're in any distress before they go and move the car. Keep in mind, the driver on the bottom of the car now, it's not a terrible jolt when they put the car back on its wheels, but it's enough that they definitely want to know that the driver's comfortable with what they're about to do. Clint?
Well, he looks comfortable up here. He's talking to them. I think they may put this window net up and send them back out into this feature. We'll see what happens here. Give me 30 seconds to assess the situation.
Yeah, he got turned, spun the wrong way, and nosed into, I don't think he nosed into the wall. He nosed into the bales up there, which dissipate a lot of energy. You can see the front bumper is still intact.
Yeah, just push him off.
Well, I got him here. Tim, are you okay? That's the main question.
With a soft roll, I'm hoping I can get him back in my heat.
They're trying to get going up here, but it's an automatic, Adam, so they can't even push start it, and Greg. So that's the problem, but the car appears to be all right.
Did he say get it back in my heat or get him back in my heat?
Well, he was going to try and get back in it here. He said he's going to try and get the car back going so he can get back in for his heat race coming up for tonight's feature event. So good to see Tim Newell is okay up there. The car doesn't seem to be beat up at all. And you mentioned hay bales, Adam. You may notice that we've got new ones down in turn 1 and 2 a few weeks ago. We came close to Dylan Westbrook hitting the end of the concrete there, so we have brought in a few $1,000 worth of new hay bales. We also lined the go-kart track because one of the Baker boys, Terry Baker's son, had a bad wreck a couple weeks ago, so we did have more of the soft walls around at the Speedway this week.
I got to admit, Adam, I thought he said I'm going to get him back too. I'm glad you checked.
Well, I'm not sure Clinton was correct there, but that's okay. He gave the report. He talked to the driver. That's what we want. A little bit of mystery is always a good thing. Some of our drivers are too polite to get out and throw their steering wheel at the driver they're mad at, and it makes it difficult for us to know what they're thinking. I see some chatter about Oswego Speedway tomorrow. Big 75 lapper. They're expecting a lot of super modifieds down there. You think the methanol smells good here when the sprint cars come out? Sit under the covered grandstands and turn forward Oswego Speedway. You'll want a designated driver to get home.
So Newell will get pushed back into the pit area, and we'll get everyone fired back up and ready to go, with Fabio Oliveri leading the way after getting the lead from Trevor Watt right before that caution came out.
Kyle Word in the 19 has his hand up out the driver's window. I think he thinks that should say 19 in second. I think Kyle Word should go to the back. Just for the show. Come on, Kyle, do it for the show.
He's made an impressive run up here through the field, has Kyle Wirth, the point leader in the Eccles Auto Service number 19. And you touched on this a little bit, Adam. When you have a feature at the start of the night, sometimes you get to see some different faces up the front because the track is a totally different monster than it is at the end of the night.
Yeah, a fresh racetrack. There's a lot of bite out there. So it's easier for everyone to be a little bit faster. As the track slicks off as the night goes on, the better handling cars, the drivers that can feather the throttle a little bit more when necessary.
Tom Cole in the 6R with some damage on the nose to that machine, and it looks as though the radiator has leaked down here on the front stretch a little bit. Should be fine to continue on, but we'll keep an eye on Tom Cole's number 6.
Well, Kyle Word is adamant about something. And I don't think Kyle Word, I don't know him to be very vocal about anything. That's one advantage of being really tall with really long arms. I mean, he can use a lot of sign language out the window of the car because he can reach.
So I'm not sure if he's, well, here he's going to stop and talk to Clint. I don't know if he feels like he was in second when the caution flag came out, or what the case is here.
Wayne Ashton, what are you doing in New Brunswick? Watching from New Brunswick, a former competitor here at the racetrack, drove a sprint car, also drove a dirt sportsman car. Remember, folks, you can always snap a picture from wherever you're sitting, whether it's in the pits, whether it's in the grandstand. Show us where you'd like to sit in a Facebook message on our Ashweekend Speedway page, or you can tweet it to us. Clinton Jeffrey, what's going on down there? He was looking for his microphone.
Well, Kyle Wirt's disputing his starting spot here. They're telling him to go back behind Iftadi. He doesn't feel like that's where he should be, but I can't give him those answers as I'm down here.
Well, I know if you dispute your spot long, oh my goodness, behind Iftadi. He was battling in the top 5, I was pretty sure, wasn't he, Greg?
Yeah, he was. He had just gotten into the top 5 prior to the...
Where you have to be careful, though, Doug Leonard being the race director and the decision maker, right, wrong, or indifferent, once he makes a decision, you can dispute it, you can question it, but once that question is done, you better go where he tells you to go.
It also depends when the caution flag came and where he was the last complete lap scored, so...
Now Clinton's running across the infield. This is no bueno. Thanks, Mike Coleman. Now Cameron Thompson, I believe that's Cameron Thompson down there, leading into Kyle Wirt's car to have a chat with him in turn 4. So Clint's going to run to the tower. He's going to need 10 minutes or a beer to regain his composure. Jeremy May heading to the pits in the 16J. Something amiss in that race car. Now, Doug Leonard, I heard him say over the one-way radio, I believe it was, as drivers, you owe it to yourself, go down to the crate sprint, number 28, and tell Jordan what an amazing job he did on this racetrack. The track looks fantastic.
Yeah, that little bit of information snuck out at Merrittville on Monday night across the PA system, and a lot of people were abuzz to hear that Jordan was going to be working on the track, and no slight to Dave Walters and the crew at all by any means. I thought last week was by far the best track we had. They put in a lot of work and they did an excellent job. Jordan's just got a ton of experience on working on this exact surface and got things to where we needed it here tonight.
I would have to agree, Greg, and as much as it pains me to do that, I look forward to the release of stress I get every Friday night just from turning on my microphone and sitting next to you, because I know sooner or later you're going to lob one in. You're going to throw a meatball right over the plate. And I'm going to knock it out of the park. And then I'm going to do the same for you, because I do that time after time.
It's been a week. We'll get there. Fabio Oliveri and Trevor Want, 1 and 2, and I'm sure Kyle Wirt's going to have a lot to say here about this one as we drop the green flag with 5 laps left to go. Back there in the 8th spot.
Yeah, I don't have much to say about that, as Mike Sarantakos with a big old start from the back of the field in that 6X, but at the front, Fabio Oliveri with a nice launch out of turn 4. There's 5 laps to go.
Here they go, 2, 3 wide behind the leader. They'll make it 4 wide down the backstretch. Look at Tim DeBoer there with Jason Tolton in the middle, Want, and Ayrton on the outside with Cole Hardy as well.
Wow, 4 wide still. Room for a couple of more even off of turn number 4 as Fabio Oliveri pulls away. Tim DeBoer trying to fight off Tolton for second. Kyle Wirt down the inside. 3.5 laps remain.
Down the backstretch they go. Fabio Oliveri out in front, and Kyle Wirt now working the inside line on Tim DeBoer, battling to get back up to where he was at one point. Here he is, side by side with Tim DeBoer going down into corner 1 with 12 on the board and 3 to go.
What do you think the other drivers were doing between 8th and 2nd, who all knew Kyle Wirt was ahead of them the lap before? Do you think they're snickering under their helmets or thinking, man, he's going to be some ticked off when he gets back to us?
Well, he was able to part the seas and make his way up to the 2nd spot with 2 laps left to go. Now the question is, does he have time to catch Fabio Oliveri, who's looking for what I believe would be his first career win in the mini stocks?
Oliveri in that Gaylord Farm Equipment number 16. The car always looks good when it shows up at the racetrack, and he has had some tough nights here in the last season or two that I've been paying close attention to him. Kyle Wirt gets up out of the groove just a little bit out of turn number 4. He is using all of the racetrack.
Here we go. Wirt down in front, slides it in a little too deep, and Oliveri keeps the momentum up on the outside, keeps him with the lead, going down into 3 for the final time.
Oliveri took evasive action to avoid Kyle Wirt. I don't think he'll do the same here coming off of turn 4. He'll keep Wirt pinched to the inside. Fabio Oliveri with the win. Kyle Wirt second. Tim DeBoer rounds out the top 3. And I don't think Kyle Wirt is coming to victory lane.
No, headed right to the pit area unless they're going across the scales, which they've been doing, but
Fabio Oliveri with the victory.
first career win for him here in the mini stock division. And a long time coming, and I didn't want to talk about Fabio because he's in the same situation as Jeremy May, where he seemed to just been riddled with horrible, horrible racing luck. And I thought, if I talk about it, Fabio, like I said, I don't believe in this racing luck stuff, but I didn't want to even chance this for Fabio. I wanted to see him have a good, solid run here, and he finally does it and gets things straightened out. He does have one career bomber win. down on the old infield oval. So Fabio has seen victory lane once here before, but first time in the mini stocks.
So I guess we are foregoing victory lane.
And the 360 sprint cars getting pushed off over on the warm-up track off of corner number 3, the first qualifier of the night. For the Cool Kids Ice and Water Core Pack Merchandising Sprint Cars.
Somehow they didn't pick up word. He was way in the back.
Starting lineup for qualifying heat race number 1 for the Cool Kids Ice and Water Core Pack Merchandising Sprint Cars going from the pole from Scotland, Ontario. Driving the Sovereign Fusion, Original Traders Energy, Burford Heating and Air Conditioning, car number 47X, D-Dubs, Dylan Westbrook. Lining up to his outside from Lewiston, New York in the G&J Contracting, car number 81, it's Derek Jonathan. Starting from position number 3 out of Carlisle, Ontario, driving the Nitro 54 variety, MMBO Direct Marketing, Creative Edge Signs and Graphics, car number 9 is Steve Lyons. And lining up on his outside, good to see him back after the wreck a couple of weeks ago, aboard car number 43 out of Port Colborne in the Edwards Excavating and Construction. Car number 43 at Scott Shirk. Scott Shirk going from 4th. Starting in 5th out of Grimsby, Ontario. And car number 90, that'll be Travis Cunningham. And going from 6th from Dunville and the Kingpin Farms, Burger Barn Racing, Aiken Motors number 91. That is Ryan Turner. Starting position number 7 in the Oshwegan Speedway, Case IH Aero Express. Car number 68, that'll be Aaron Turkey. Aaron Turkey going from 7th and starting in 8th with one feature win this year out of Caister Center in the Burger Barn. Ace 1 Construction, Mobile 1, car number 13, Corey Turner. So 8 cars in this first qualifying heat of the night with the Cool Kids Ice and Water Core Pack Merchandising Sprint Cars, and some pretty heavy hitters in this one, although we've got them spread through it, all 3. This division, Adam, is stacked with so many good drivers, and as dominant as Dylan Westbrook has been, we still have some drivers that can go out there and beat him on any night.
Well, Steve Lyons in practice, Dylan Westbrook went out and ran his fastest lap right away. It was a .974. Don't ask me. I think it was 13.974. And then he ran slower after that. Steve Lyons went out and was in the low 14s, but then he ran a 13.975, just 1/1000th off Dylan Westbrook. So on a track like this, give him a smooth surface, and I think Steve Lyons, he could have a big night here tonight.
Well, Greg, I just want to send a shout out to Glenn, Tina, and the family watching from beautiful Bora Bora tonight. They're checked in on YouTube Live and want to say, hope you guys are having a great vacation. Thanks for tuning in from all the way in the French Polynesia.
We'll give them another shout out before too long when there's a little bit of quiet, but awesome that Glenn and Tina are able to tune in.
Dylan Westbrook will start from the pole, comes in 3rd place in points behind the 2 drivers tied for the top spot, that being Jim Hoopinen and Mac DeMann. And Dylan, after a couple of weeks of some misfortune, still only 5 points out of 1st. So a solid night tonight can put him right back at the top of the pile as we get ready for the green flag here on Frankie Turkey Memorial Night.
Good start for Dylan Westbrook. Steve Lyons couldn't make that move on Derek Jonathan down into turn number 1. That's going to open the door for Ryan Turner in the Kingpin 91 to take over 3rd. And Doug Leonard did not like that start.
7, you go back to row 9, you come to the front with the 81. Lights are out. 9 ahead of the 47 to the front row with the 81.
Doug Leonard did not like that start. Thought Dylan Westbrook got off to a fairly quick advantage. we've got to welcome all of our fans who are watching a rain delay at Daytona Speedway. They can keep all the rain. Just watch Friday Night Excitement here at Ohsweken Speedway. There are no tapered spacers on our 360 sprint cars, ladies and gentlemen.
So Steve Lyons now, along with Derek Jonathan, will bring us to the green flag. And looks like we have a better start that time. Steve Lyons will lead them down into corner number 1 with Dylan Westbrook in his tire tracks.
What a different view for Steve Lyons. He had a clear racetrack going into 1. He could decide what line he wanted to use, and boy, oh boy, he's backing up those fast practice times. He'll lead lap number 1.
Down into corner 1 he goes, slinging that one wide open and stretching it a little bit on Dylan Westbrook. Side by side for the 3rd spot with Ryan Turner and Derek Jonathan put Turner up to spot number 3.
Great battles deeper in the field with Corey Turner throwing a slide job on Scott Shirk in the 43.
Meanwhile, the gap at the front has closed just a little bit as Steve Lyons holding off Dylan Westbrook, but he's right there within striking distance as we complete lap number 3 of 8 in this one.
Lions out in front by about 6 car lengths. They're pulling away from Ryan Turner, but Westbrook hasn't quite found the line that'll close him up on Lyons' rear tail. Oh, and as I say that, problems for Steve Lyons, waving his hand out the left side of that race car.
Terrible, terrible luck for Steve Lyons as he will coast to a stop, it looks like, up on the high side. Not sure as though he'll be able to make it to the pit area as we continue under green. 3 laps left to go, and Steve might be able to, well, no, caution will finally come out for Steve Lyons.
Now we'll never know.
How heartbreaking is that for Steve Lyons? Just came off of corner 4 and the car just stopped. And you could see him waving his arm frantically so that Dylan Westbrook wouldn't run him over.
You know, and that's why some drivers wear a different colored glove, a brightly colored glove or white gloves to give that contrast.
Well, guys, time for your first Case IH track report on Case IH O'Neill's night here at Ohsweken. As you can see, we've got Jordan Hill's done a fabulous job with the track. We've got one little vein right here through 3 and 4 that may start to roll up, and you can see some of the moisture starting to come up here a little bit. The rest of the track is very packed and looking really good. If we have any issues, you know we've got the right equipment to get it done here with our friends from Case IH. So make sure you check that out. We'll be back with another Case IH track report coming up. Only one little spot we're worried about right now.
Nicely done, Clinton Jeffrey. But you can just tell by the attitude of the race cars. They go into the corner and you don't see them lurching. You don't see the back end jumping, losing the front end, going up 2 lanes. It's a nice racetrack for these drivers to compete on here this evening.
So as we get back to the green flag, it'll be Dylan Westbrook leading over Ryan Turner. Derek Jonathan back in the 3rd spot. Corey Turner sits in 4th. Aaron Turkey running 5th, and it's Travis Cunningham back in position 6th, and Scott Shirk in 7th.
Kyle McKenzie, green flag high in the air. Dylan Westbrook, he doesn't want to get burnt again for jumping that start. He's going to wait till he's all the way to the cone. Green flag in the air. Now he steps on the throttle.
And Ryan Turner keeps pace as they go down into corner number 1, right there hanging with Dylan Westbrook. Westbrook, though, will stretch it just a little bit off corner 2.
Derek Jonathan made a nice turn 1 and 2 there, carried a good bit of speed off the corner. Behind him, Aaron Turkey trying to put the challenge to Corey Turner in the 13.
Down through 1 and 2 they go. Turner on the bottom of Derek Jonathan working for that 3rd position. Now Turner looks up a little bit higher into corner 3 and dives down low in corner 4 with 1 lap left to go.
Down through 1 and 2, Westbrook leading the way. Like I say, I'm enjoying watching Derek Jonathan hold off Corey Turner. Turner loves the slide job in 3 and 4. He drives to the bottom, slides up in front of the 81. Can Jonathan turn underneath? And no! Corey Turner going to finish 3rd, Derek Jonathan 4th, Aaron Turkey 5th, and it's Travis Cunningham and Scott Shirk.
So once again, Dylan Westbrook will pick up the win in the Sovereign Fusion Original Traders Energy Burford Heating and Air Conditioning car number 46. Dylan Westbrook, another heat race win, comes in 5 points out of the point lead coming into tonight. Don't forget to get those 50-50 ticket sellers going through the stands in the pink shirts. Flag them down. Get in on tonight's draw as we prepare for Qualifying heat race number 2 for the Cool Kids Ice and Water Core Pack Merchandising Sprint Cars going from the pole in heat race number 2 out of Caister Center in the Charlie B. Honey Pius Spring and Alignment Braemar Buildings number 11. It is Jamie Turner going from second. In the Nitro 54 Variety, Ackland Insurance number 15 from Oshwegan, it's Dan Nanico. Starting in position number 3 in the Fiberworks Composite, Merzak Enterprises car number 49. That is the straight shooter Scott Kruder, and his outside, his teammate from Cheektowaga, New York, in car number 94. Also sponsored by Fiberworks Composite, Merzak Enterprises. That is Todd Hoddick. Going from spot number 5 out of Brantford in the CarQuest Auto Parts Brown Auto Service number 10, it's downtown Mitch Brown, and alongside him the Dykstra Racing Coldwell Banker by Jennifer Hatch, Tim's Lawn Care number 5D, that is Shane Ross, and going from position number 7 out of Beamsville in car number 88H, that is the Parts Source Janney Recovery number 88H of Josh Hansen, and starting in position number 8 from Dorchester, Ontario, driving the Case IH, Oshwegan Speedway, Aero Express, car number 1, it is Holly Porter. Holly in competition last night with the Micro Sprints. I came out last night with my son, who is going to be part of the announce team here in a couple of weeks. They're going to have their first on-camera test next Thursday night, and then they will do the live stream in 2 weeks' time for the Micro Sprints. And got to see Holly race last night. Of course, we get to see Spencer Davis both Thursday and Friday nights as well, and some great racers out there every Thursday night. I'll tell you what, they put on a great show. If you haven't seen it, come out and check it out on a Thursday night.
So who's going to be announcing the stream?
It will be Jackson, Caitlin DeBoer, and my son McLean.
Awesome.
So should be interesting to see how the youngsters do on camera. McLean's not nervous at all. He's pretty excited about it.
That's awesome.
Green flag is out. Jamie Turner and Dan Nanico lead them through the corner with the straight shooter Scott Kruder right back there behind them in third.
Shane Ross with an aggressive move into turn 1, and then he kind of had to play some defense and feather his way. Oh, I'm glad he missed that wall. My goodness. That is going to bring out a yellow, I'm sure, because Dan Nanico's car dead in the water. That made my heart just about stop.
Yeah, that was a hard impact, and then the line that he was on headed down into corner number 1. I thought, like you, he was going to clip that wall. Or even worse, end up in the infield. I've got other interests that are down in the infield that I'm always keeping an eye on.
Well, you're not kidding. Anything can happen, and will.
Heavy damage to the right side. We're going to have a look at this on the replay, and just ran out of room.
Well, he wasn't. Jamie Turner had no way to know he was there. Dan Nanico was kind of sniffing around his right rear, looking to go to the outside, and it's just one of those split-second decisions. Do I do it? Do I not? Oh, I did it. I wish I hadn't.
And hard impact with the right rear on that machine, and you can see how the right rear is sitting down from Greg Boydell's camera there in corner number 2. It's just squatted down there, and the rear end took a hard impact with the wall. So a good job by Dan, though, to get the car back under control after such a hard hit.
And by Scott Kruder to miss him. So they'll pick that car up from the back end. So do you think that same announcing crew will want to announce our iRacing leagues this fall, Greg? Because I'm looking to retire.
I was wondering about Friday nights. Yeah, we'll see how they make out. They may have interest in that.
It's something this sport desperately needs is photographers, announcers, media people that are passionate about it, interested in it, want to get involved. Do you know how much money I've saved over my lifetime, Greg, not having to pay to get into most racetracks I visit?
I can't remember the last time I paid to go anywhere.
I have a few times. You know, you go places and when I do get in for free, I'm serving some kind of media role, whether it's as an announcer or a writer, or there's different things we're able to do.
I was telling my friend Sean Grace, who comes here every week, sits down in corner one. Hi, Sean. I see you down there. And I was telling him about the seat cushion that I have that I take to the races, and then I got thinking, I haven't used it probably in 15 to 20 years.
Could I borrow it? Please.
The last time I used it, Dave Farney was flagging, I'm sure.
Give it up.
Back to the green with Jamie Turner, who's been noticeably stronger here in the last couple of weeks. Good for him out in front in that Mudcat Entertainment Center, number 11.
There's drivers who on a smooth racetrack will do much, much better. Jamie Turner's been racing a long, long time. I dare say he's been racing long enough that he doesn't need to race through craters and potholes. He's not interested, but give him a smooth racetrack like this where he can really go out and play, have some fun. He's all over that.
Scott Kruder to the top of the board in car number 49. The straight shooter works it off a corner four, this time by complete lap number 3.
Kruder with a smooth line. Look at that. He turns that steering wheel once into the corner, maybe one or two more times, but by and large, he just finds that one spot, rides it all the way around the end.
Kruder stretching the advantage over Jamie Turner. Then it's Shane Ross back there, who's had a nice run from the back of the field up into this third spot. Holly Porter started 8th as well. She's into the 4th position. Mitch Brown kind of hanging back there in 5th.
Holly Porter's left rear tire looks almost flat to me.
And it does a little soft on number 1 there for Holly Porter, who's running that down bottom groove right now. As at the front, it's the opposite for Scott Kruder, is hanging it out on that outside line and getting it done in the 49.
Josh Hansen just swung it wide out of turn 4, just about caught the concrete on the corner exit. White flag is out for Scott Kruder.
Final time around for the straight shooter, who had what looked like a sure win taken away from him a couple of weeks ago, will find the checkered flag in the qualifying heat. So the 49K will pick up the win over Jamie Turner. Then it's Shane Ross. Holly Porter comes home 4th. 5th will be Mitch Brown. 6th is Todd Hoddick. And 7th will go to Josh Hansen, with Dan Nanakoke finishing with a DNF in the spot number 8.
Getting reports that Dan Nanakoke, the chassis actually broke at the back of that race car. But he is okay. Thank you for that report.
Yeah, those race cars can be fixed, but it's bad news for Dan Nanakoke, who's really made some big strides this year as a 360 sprint car driver. Did a nice job of that, and was challenging towards the front when he had that issue on the front stretch.
Well, and we want to see everybody able to race tonight, but if you're Dan Nanakoke and Steve Lyons, both racing kind of as teammates, one seemed to have a motor go down, one seemed to have a car go down, maybe they can put things together and have one entry later on tonight.
Third and final qualifying heat coming out onto the speedway for the Cool Kids Ice and Water Core Pack merchandising sprint car, starting from the pole in the Hills Tire and Gas. Brown Auto Service, Little Bend 110, it's Jake Brown. And alongside him from Mississauga in the Ackland Insurance, CarStar Brantford, Ripshot, number 17X, the highlight man, Mac Demand, tied for the point lead coming into tonight. Starting in position number 3 in the DBC Contracting 71S from Port Colborne, and that is Sean Slider. And alongside him, the Jason's Enterprises, Total Coatings, number 46 from Caister Center, that is Kevin Pauls. Going from position number 5, the Styes Tree Service, car number 87X, Sean Evans, who had that rocket ride last week that made social media turns aplenty. Sean Evans back there in position number 5, going from the 6th spot, tied for the point lead after his win last Friday night in the Bradshaw Brothers Oshwegan Speedway number 0. The Red Rocket, Jim Hoopinen from Fenwick, and going from the 7th and final starting spot in the ERW Contracting, car number 9B from Charing Cross, that is Scott Burke.
Green flag flies on the 3rd and final sprint car heat tonight.
Mac Demand uses the outside line, get by Jake Brown and takes the top spot. Brown back to 2nd. Here comes Sean Evans. Looks down deep on Jake through corner 4.
And Jim hooping and watching him in that Ashwegan Speedway Zero. Remember, that car was put, oh, McDeman off into the pits. A problem for the 17.
Crazy situation there for the leader, more than the first time we've seen that here tonight, as Sean Evans down the lead. His teammate assumes the top spot with Jim Hoopinen and Jake Brown going at it for second. Here comes Brown on the outside down the backstretch.
And Hoopinen worked hard to keep that car down on the bottom in case Brown had a big run. Then off the corner, he drifted up in front of the 110. Now we'll try to track down Sean Evans in that Hills Racing number 87 Ackland Insurance sponsored machine.
Into corner numbers 3 and 4 they go. Sean Evans works it down across the stripe to complete lap number 4. Halfway home in this third and final qualifier for our 360 sprint car division. Jim Hoopinen right there in second, though, was closing the gap on the rookie driver.
Down to the bottom goes Hoopinen on Sean Evans. Evans hangs on to the top spot for one more lap. We're 5 laps down, 3 laps to go.
Hoopinen washes up the banking in quarter number 2 and gets back on his ponies here and sets his sights back on Sean Evans. Dives it back down deep in corners 3 and 4. 2 laps left to go for the Red Rocket to catch Sean Evans.
Evans doing a nice job. He's doing what he has to do, running the line he wants to run. But boy, the last lap he's kind of lost his marks a little bit. And now Hoopinen going to head to the outside as Evans drives to the bottom of the racetrack.
Yeah, Evans got really high in corner number 2. Jim Hoopinen now working that outside line, winds it up now. We'll come down low in corner 2, and we'll dive down to the lead, so put Jim Hoopinen to the top of the scoring pylon with 2 corners remaining.
Down through 3 and 4, Jim Hoopinen going to take the checkered flag over Sean Evans. Coming home in third is Jake Brown. 4th, the Slider. Rounding out the top 5 is Scott Burke. And we have to give this shout out to Glenn's Tires. Took me a bit to figure this out, but I got it live on Facebook. Such a great view. I don't know if you can say that. Such a great view, says the guy from Bora Bora sitting on a patio. But we're glad you're watching, boss. I hope you're having a great time. Say hi to everybody.
And he just got to see his machine pick up the checkered flag in the heat race win with Jim Hoopinen, who's been very stout since taking over the Zero.
Don't tell him the car was smoking in practice. Glenn might not want to hear that. We just tell him he won his heat. That's all you need to know.
It was smoking in the heat too, but it was smoking fast, not the same smoke that lay down in practice, because it was that got rid of mosquitoes for the rest of the week here.
The Middleport Mechanical Thunderstocks come out. And this driver's got a great sense of humor, because we picked on him last week because the car was naked. In one fell swoop, the body got ripped clean off the 4 machine, and we mentioned that it reminded us of Foghorn Leghorn when he'd lose all his feathers. So it gave us a lot to work with on social media, but especially when he posted the new left side on the race car, we all got a chance to have fun and respond. That's Aaron Rowitsky from Simcoe driving the number 4 machine. He'll start on the pole. Outside in the 43 from Hamilton, Kyle Andrus. Go Fast Teeple from Thorold in the 11 machine. Beamsville Fish and Chips entry. Drive the number 40 out of Brantford is Derek Liverance. Jeff Ruloves drives the 6R. Adam Plazik in the 41. Matt Newell in the 2. And Chris Dickey in the number 1. And we'll have a story later on about Chris Dickey as well. The things we learn on social media, Greg.
Yeah, he had a fairly young crew getting that car back together this week, and he was all giving them props to keep your youngsters off the video games and get them in the garage and in the shop. And Chris Dickey, thanks to his young crew, got that car back ready to go, and he'll start from the tail, but already getting by a couple of drivers.
And that's, I believe, a borrowed engine in that car. I didn't pick up whether he bought the motor or borrowed the motor. But we'll fill you in on that later on. Meanwhile, at the front of the field, Aaron Rowitsky in the 4 leads the way over Go Fast Teeple. Clint?
He said Mike Thorne lent him the motor, but Ricky Bobby gave him a street stock motor to use, I believe, what the story said.
Yeah, that's where the engine came from, as far as I read. I just wasn't sure if he borrowed it or if he bought it. Maybe he wanted to see how it runs first.
I can get to the bottom of that for you.
Aaron Rowitsky doing a nice job out in front in that 4X machine with Go Fast Teeple back there in second. Derek Liverance riding in position number 3 as we come by to complete lap number 3 and 5 to go here in the first Middleport Mechanical Thunderstock heat race of the night.
Nice move, Chris Dickey. threading the needle between Adam Plazik and Jeff Rulifs coming through turn number 2. He'll drive down the inside into 3. And he'll take over that 4th spot. Did you just read Dave Bradley's comment?
Love you, Dave. Aaron Rowitsky side by side with Go Fast People for the top spot. They're 3 wide behind him. Chris Dickey, Jeff Rulifs, and Derek Liverance all kept it going straight. And then Chris Dickey gets up and gives Derek Liverance a little bumper tag.
I think he took a little offense at Derek Liverance pinching him down into Jeff Rulifs. Meanwhile, at the front, Go Fast People on the inside of Aaron Rowitsky. That's a great battle for the lead.
Yeah, Teeple on the bottom. He's really had a phenomenal year here in 2019 and proving to earn that name. Go Fast up at the front of the field here, challenging Aaron Rowitsky for the lead as they go down into corner 1. And the battle behind them continues on, as well as Chris Dickey to the outside now of Derek Liverance.
Jeff Rulifs on the inside, Chris Dickey on the outside. Here goes Go Fast People again to the inside of Rowitsky, down into 3 and 4. White flag is out. They'll drag race down the front straightaway.
Final time around, Teeple will lead the lap over Rowitsky. Good battle continuing on behind them. A lot to watch here in this qualifier as Teeple has problems down in corner 1, drifts up the track in front of Chris Dickey. That slows his progress.
Wonder if he thought the race was over, or does he have a flat right front? We're going to find out here as everybody is slowed down the backstretch.
Aaron Rowitsky will get the win over Derek Liverance. Across the line, it's going to be Dickey. Newell somehow got by Go Fast Teeple. And Teeple will come home in the 5th spot. Not sure what went wrong, but it proved to keep him inside the top 5. So good bit of driving by Teeple to keep it out there.
Solid run by Matt Newell, guys. You remember he stepped up. He's the mini stock champ. Got behind the wheel of that 8-cylinder and looking pretty good tonight. So a solid run for Matt Newell out there as he tries to work out the handling on that new Camaro.
Heat race number 2. It's going to line up like this. On the pole from Brantford in the 13, it's Casey Huffman. Alongside him from Oswego in the 24 is Blake Bombury Jr. Starting 3rd in the 37 out of Harley is Robert Hoskins. And starting in 4th from Hagersville, the 8 is Ryan Dinning. Starting in 5th from Guelph, the 79 is Christopher Hale. And starting 6th from Jerseyville, the 53 is Logan Schwedick. Starting 7th from Caledonia, the 21X is Mark Bezine, and starting 8th from Caister Center, the 28D is Donnie Lampman. That's how they're scheduled to roll off. Casey Huffman on the inside in that yellow 13, Blake Bombury on the outside in the purple 24, green flag flies.
Underway as they'll fan out down into corner number 1. Ryan Denning to the top of the pile with Blake Bombury working his outside and Logan Schwedick drawing up to make it a 3-car race into 3.
Denning with a big start in that 8 machine. He'll get out in front and clear Blake Bombury coming off the corner. Logan Schwedick working the inside, but Ryan Denning has the lead.
Denning out in front, but here comes Logan Schwedick and that Advantage Electric number 53 driving hard on the bottom lane. He'll drag race with the Club 54 Racing number 8 of Ryan Denning down off of corner 4. Schwedick digging deep, but it's Denning will lead the lap.
And Schwedick's not giving up on that bottom groove. He had opportunity to kind of drift in behind Ryan Denning and try to get a run at him using the outside, but he keeps dropping to the bottom. Now he's going to head to the high side in 3 and 4.
Off of 4 they come. Ryan Denning with Schwedick now working the outside line. Blake Bombury, Rob Hoskins, and Chris Hale, your top 5 with 3 on the board. 5 laps left to go. Schwedick gets a good run off of corner 2. Noses ahead for the moment, down in 3.
You know, do you wonder if Ryan Denning is still trying to use a line that worked for him for a lot of years, but it's just not the fast way around anymore?
No, something just has not been the same for Ryan Denning, but you wonder if this track surface come feature time, the best we've seen so far this year, and kind of back to where it was when Ryan was doing so well, if that will play a factor in tonight's feature for the 8 car.
I think it certainly could.
5 in, 3 to go. The Middleport Mechanical Thunderstock division. One more qualifying heat to come for them with Schwedick leading over Denning and Bombury at side by side for position 4 and 5, Hale and Hoskins.
Chris Hale on that 79. down the inside of the white number 37 of Rob Hoskins as they take 2 laps to go. Not only are they battling for the 4th spot, they're close enough that if Blake Bomber even hiccups out there, it'll be a battle for the 3rd spot.
Into corner 3 they go. Schwedek coming out to the white flag this time around. Ryan Denning dropping back just a little bit from the leader, and a good 3-car battle now for 3rd spot as Hoskins and Hale have caught Bomberry. Blake Bomberry in that purple Nitro 54 variety number 24. Here they come. They're going to make it a 3-car race for that 3rd spot.
I think Rob Hoskins is going to run out of racing room, but Chris Hale has a chance if he can get the power down on the bottom. Schwedek with the win. Denning comes home second, and boy, was I wrong. Bomberry, Hoskins, and Hale, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. That was a fun battle to watch.
Yeah, great fight there between those 3. Donnie Lampman comes home in the 6th spot, and then it's Mark Bazine in 7th.
One more heat for the Thunderstocks, and here's how they'll line up. On the pole from Canfield, the 32 is Mark Fawcett. Outside row number 1, and the 23 from Hagersville is Trevor DeBoer. Starting 3rd from Keister Center, the 28 is Jim Lampman. Starting 4th from Victoria, the 84 RK is Ryan Beagle. Starting 5th out of Hamilton, the 25 is Kenny Sargent. Starting 6th from Ohsweken, the 38 is Frank Turkey. Starting 7th, our points leader from Hagersville, the 49 is Dave Bailey, and rounding out the field from Port Robinson, the 108Z, Zach Bleach.
I want to give a shout out to Gail Hill of Gail's Auto Aftermarket. Huge supporter of Ohsweken Speedway over the years and just loves this Thunderstock division. And Gail not able to be with us here tonight. He's under the weather right now with some medical issues, and that's keeping him away, but told he's tuned in here tonight celebrating 50 years in business. So congratulations on that, Gail. We miss having you here tonight, but we know you're sitting right now loving the Thunderstocks.
What's not to love? Well, we definitely do miss you, Gail.
And he supports drivers in all the divisions. He's not just a Thunderstock fan, but I know he always has his sponsorship on some of the biggest races of the year for the Thunderstocks, and he enjoys this division, and why not? It's so competitive, as we're going to see here in this 3rd and final qualifying heat.
Trevor DeBoer out in front with Ryan Beagle trying to chase him down. Beagle up on the outside in that 84 machine that'll carve across the banking and down the hill and close in on that blue and gold number 23 of Trevor DeBoer. That car is one of the most recognizable cars over the last 20 years of racing in this area. From back in the days of the Outlaw Thunder cars that ran at Cayuga Speedway and ran some shows here, it has always been that color combination.
As he'll go side by side, Ryan Beagle and Trevor DeBoer at the front. A good battle 4-car fight behind them. There's plenty to watch in this qualifying heat as Zach Bleach pulls the 108Z to the pit area.
Mark Fawcett trying to fend off some of the heavy hitters of our division. Ken Sargent in the middle, Dave Bailey down low, and right behind them it's Jim Lampman.
We documented earlier in the night the problems that Dave Bailey had at Merrittville Speedway with his motor, and some of the questions coming into tonight, but I'd say those questions are answered for the meantime as the 49 Hall of the Mail making his way up into 3rd now.
Ryan Beagle took the lead over Trevor DeBoer, but he's not pulling away. DeBoer keeping that bumper right up in the left rear quarter panel of Ryan Beagle. They'll work off a 3 and 4. Beagle gains about a car length and a half down the front straightaway, but DeBoer was trying to pinch his car off to keep a nose to the inside. He gets a better run through 1 and 2, and then Beagle looks a little stronger in 3 and 4.
Beagle continuing on that outside line. It'll be 2 laps left to go for the top dog out in front. The APC number 84 RK of Ryan Beagle has a win here so far this year. Trevor DeBoer with a win as well back there in the 2nd spot.
I think you should have to close that, like when you call him top dog, you should have to go woof woof. It would just work.
Go ahead.
Maybe every time you say it, that's what I'll do. As the white flag comes out, Ryan Beagle continues to lead the way over Trevor DeBoer. Dave Bailey cleared Ken Sargent, and Jim Lampman didn't pull away a great deal from those cars.
Off of corner number 4 for the final time, the checkered flag. Ryan Beagle, the top dog.
Woof, woof.
gets the win over Trevor DeBoer in second, Dave Bailey third, Ken Sargent fourth, Jim Hampman fifth, Mark Fawcett will come home in sixth. Zach Bleach made it back out, but he was laps down. And the 38 who was that Terry Martin tonight?
No, it's Frank Turkey.
Oh, Frank Turkey in the 38, my apologies. And the 38 finishes ahead of Zach Bleach.
Spencer, if you've got a chance, now would be the time to slip that picture in of Glenn and Tina's view as they're watching the races. I'll have to grab it off of our Facebook chat as we wait for the mini stocks to come out for heat race number 1.
HRW Automotive Mini Stocks ready with their first qualifying heat of the night. They've cleaned the slate and got back to racing action, ready to go with their first qualifier of the evening. The pinball Mike Giverson will start from the pole. He's out of Caledonia. There we see the shot of Glenn Stiers, his best view in the house. Wow. All I can see is the background, Adam.
A pina colada, a bottle of water, lots of palm trees, and a couple of tablets showing the races from Ohsweken Speedway.
I'm sure they have it on mute, though, to not ruin the setting.
That's a fair point.
The pinball Mike Giverson will line up from the pole. And this one, and a bit of a change here in the lineup for this one with Trevor Want lining up to his outside in the RWT number 19T. We're missing Cody Somerville and Aiden Nye, the original front row there. Jeremy May will start back in the third spot with Christopher French alongside in the fourth position. Brian Cosgrove goes from fifth. Then it's Mike Taylor in the 17 machine, the 1 of Jason Tolton, the 15 of Sean Iftati, and the 188 of Paul Longboat. That is the running order. So the front row missing here for this first qualifying heat.
Big start by Taylor in that white 17 as he works his way up to second. He'll drive to the inside of Trevor Want and challenge for the lead in turn 4.
Trevor Want works it off the corner in that RWT Renovations number 19T out in front over Mike Taylor, who's got a good run going here up in that second spot. Christopher French back in third. And here comes Cheeseburger working side by side with Jeremy May.
If Toddy to the outside runs out of real estate, has to back off to avoid running into the back of Christopher French. He'll run right in his tire tracks, look to the outside, but French drifts up the racetrack on the front straightaway down into turn number 1.
Trevor Want, Mike Taylor, and now caution flag will come out.
Well, we got an exhaust pipe out here in the middle of 3 and 4 guys. So that is the cause of the caution. And I'm going to let one of the fire guys come and pick it up because it's probably hotter than I want to be touching with my bare hands. And here he comes to the rescue. Dustin, hold that up for the camera. There you see a good shot of the exhaust pipe out of one of the cars.
So
hold it up for the camera and then throw it at the cameraman.
We got to keep Sean on his toes. He's having too much fun out here.
No doubt, Sean Robertson doing the camera duties down there in turn number 3 and 4 and wherever Clinton drives him. Who does the driving? I never pay attention.
Now we fight about it behind the dash. I drive them, but I'm hoping to get another buggy here so we can have a couple of cameras on the move soon. But Sean doing a great job. We just pulled him off the roof at Merrittville a few weeks back and said, get ready, you're going on TV.
You know, I was thinking that sounds dangerous to have multiple buggies. But speaking of dangerous, I was at a Canada Day parade in Cambridge on July 1st. Have you ever seen the Shriners at these parades in their go-karts?
Yep.
Doing about 50 miles an hour.
Oh, hey, I got a quick story. I was at a Christmas parade with my kids a couple years ago, and I saw one come screaming down the street. We lifted our feet off, and the thing went plowing into a bunch of people. Crazy scene at the Christmas parade a few years ago. I like, yikes, here we go, watch out.
Then they had a bunch of them that were dune buggies, and they were 2-stroke motors just spewing out the exhaust. It was great.
Oh, my. Back to racing action. Brought to you by the Shriners.
They can take my driver's license, but they can't stop me from going in parades.
Cross flags in the air for this qualifying heat for the HRW Automotive Mini Stock. Trevor Want out in front of Brian Cosgrove and Mike Taylor. Jeremy May back there in fourth. I'm not even going to talk about Jeremy May tonight.
Nope. Sean Iftati, he's struggling back there in the 15, but as I say that, he's got an open line to the outside.
He didn't have a great restart. He was up there challenging inside the top 3 or 4 and got shuffled out of the way there. As Brian Crossgrove got a great restart and is now up there going for the second spot to the outside of Mike Taylor.
Driver doing a nice job is Longboat.
Yeah, Paul Longboat really looking strong in that 188. One of those graduates from our bomber division. Seems to have a lot of fun out here in the mini stocks. He was one that was disappointed the bombers went away, but I think he's enjoyed these mini stocks a whole lot more.
I would have to think so. White flag is out on this mini stock qualifier. Out in front is Trevor Wanton pulling away.
Trevor Wanton with a nice run here. He had a good run in that first feature of the night and has things corrected and up in front. And coming to the checkered flag is Trevor Wanton in the 19T. He'll come across the stripe as your winner in the RWT Renovations Machine. Brian Crossgrove will come home in second over Mike Taylor. Sean Iftati, Cheeseburger, gets his way back up to 4th. And Paul Longboat with a solid top 5 finish in the 188. As we get ready for our second qualifying heat of the night for the HRW Automotive Mini Stocks.
Yeah, mini stock heats. We've still got the crate sprint heats to come.
So Daniel McKay will go from the pole in this one in the Home Hardware number 13M. Alongside him, Fabio Oliveri, who picked up his first career mini stock feature win just a little while ago here tonight. Driving the Gaylor Equipment Kubota, number 16. Going from position number 3 from Dundas, the Cal Tire number 69. That is Rob Twitchett, and Mike Evers lines up to his outside, the 265. He's from Caledonia. Going from position number 5, that is Jonathan Ayrton. Jonathan Ayrton in the 21 from Waterdown, and to his outside, looks like it's going to be the 360 of Kevin Thorne, the Burger Barn East 1 Construction number 360. And then we've got Cole Hardy back there in the 7C, the Rona Fort Erie and St. Catharines 7C. To his outside, Martin Schroeder in the 60. And is that Andy or Chris Reichman? I'm having troubles with my lineups here tonight. So it'll be Andy Reichman tonight. And the Hallett Home Improvements Breakaway Auto Glass number 93.
Fabio Oliveri off of that big feature win to open off the night. Leads the way down into turn 3.
Correction, Dundas, the hometown of Jonathan Ayrton, as we have Mike Evers all crossways off of corner number 4. Gathers it back up in front of the pack, and now Daniel McKay will take his turn going around on the bottom side. It's into the infield wall. We'll see if he'll back it up, or if we will need to go to the caution flag. Nope, he'll back it up, and we will stay green with Fabio Oliveri picking up where he left off in that feature at the start of the night from a week ago.
Yellow flag flies from from Kyle McKenzie.
Well, guys, I was texting Steve Lyons to say, hey, man, what happened? Your heat, he said it popped out of gear.
Oh, no.
So I says, oh, man. He said, yeah, the heat race of my life going on. Just my luck. LOL. So tough luck there, Steve. You looked good while you were up front, though, buddy.
And we
Just got a correction on Gale Hill. He's celebrating his 50th wedding anniversary.
Well,
that's
like,
work.
I was going to say, that's just like working for 50 years.
I'm sorry, Clint. I was sure you said 50 years in business, but...
I did. I may have had it messed
okay.
up. So I will take the heat for that one. I
That's
did
okay.
give you that clear message, and I was clearly wrong with that message.
We will never let facts get in the way of a good story.
It sounded good. I mean, he's helped enough guys, and he's been around a long enough time. No, sorry, Gail. I did get it right. Not Bobby's fault. He gave me the correct info. I must have not computed it correctly.
We're glad to have you watching nonetheless, Gail, and congratulations on 50 years of marriage. That's even more impressive than running a business for 50 years. Both make you question why you did it after a while.
Hopefully one makes you money. In my experience, the other one is very expensive. I'll let you decide which is which.
Your wife's in the tower. Be careful. Fabio Oliveri out in front. A good run by Cole Hardy. He's worked from the back of the back in this qualifying heat. He's up there challenging for the second spot to the inside of Rob Twitchett.
Rob Twitchett in the 69 having a good run. We've seen that car struggle at different times this season, just stringing it all together. Right now he runs in the second spot. A few car lengths off of Fabio Oliveri, sails it off into the corner, treacherously close to the edge of the banking.
2 laps left to go for Fabio Oliveri out in front over Rob Twitchett, Cole Hardy, Mike Evers up there in 4th. 5th right now, Kevin Thorne. Jonathan Ayrton running in 6th. Martin Schroeder 7th. Andy Reichman is back there in 8th. And just in front of the leaders, Daniel McKay, who brought out that previous caution. Just about to go a lap down. White flag out, though, so he should be safe from that.
I would think so, as the second and third place cars side by side down into 1 and 2. Twitchett up high, Cole Hardy in that Cole Hardy line. He is true to that groove down at the bottom of the racetrack.
Makes it work as they come through 3 and 4 the final time. The lap car, Daniel McKay in front, that green machine. Then it'll be Fabio Oliveri picking up the win over Rob Twitchett. Solid performance up there in 2nd. Cole Hardy 3rd. Mike Evers 4th. 5th, Kevin Thorne 6th. Martin Schroeder 7th will be Jonathan Ayrton 8th. Andy Reichman in 9th. The 13 of Daniel McKay.
What makes a trailer a Miska? Is it the heavy-duty Canadian steel they are made from? Or is it the exceptional finish that will last year after year? How about knowing that these are the best back trailers in the industry? These are the reasons you buy Miska. So what makes these trailers a Miska? It's the hard-working Canadians who craft them. We are Miska. We are Canadian tough.
Aidan Maynard from Chatham, Ontario will start on the pole here in qualifying heat number 3 of 3. Wade Thorne on his outside, the Buckwald Landscaping number 46. He's from Waterford. Going from spot number 3 in the Let's Landscape, Jeb's Action Sport number 01. That's Tristan De Silva from Waterdown. Going 4th in the Cobra Trucking, number 21H from New Hamburg, Ontario, it is Ryan Hiller. Starting in position number 5, the Mike Cerventakos in the Lampman Salvage 6X from Smithville. Going spot number 6 from York, it's Tim DeBoer in the Tim Sonato car number 9. Going 7, Tim Jamieson out of Oshrican, the 177. Dusty DeBoer from Hagersville in the Tim Sonato number 23. Then you've got Kyle Wirth, points leader in the Eccles Auto Service number 19. He's from Ancaster. Tom Cole from Brantford in the 6R. And Craig Vlasic out of Port Colborne joining us again here tonight in the 44. He'll start 11th.
Down the front straightaway, Thorne out in front of Hiller and Tristan De Silva. They battle into turn number 1. Kyle Wirt and Tim DeBoer trying to choose where they're going to run. That's going to get real skinny off of turn 2.
Wow, they all made it work down there or down the backstretch. Kyle Wirt tucked in behind Tristan De Silva on that inside line. Now he'll look to make it 4 wide through corner 4.
Great line by Tim DeBoer. You can see he gave Hiller just enough room without having to lift off the throttle. It got him a fantastic launch down the front stretch. They are still 4 wide, battling for 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th.
Good fight behind Wade Thorne out in front in that Buckwald Landscape number 46. Wade Thorne leads the way, but here comes Tim DeBoer to the inside lane to cross flags. DeBoer and Thorne side by side into 1.
DeBoer, Thorne, De Silva, Hiller, Wirt. Who's in the 44, did we say?
Craig Vlasic's right in the thick of it with Kyle Wirt as well.
Craig Vlasic just commented, go Craig Vlasic, number 44.
Down into corner 1 they go again with Tim DeBoer out in front over Dusty DeBoer, and Kyle Wirt silently now made his way up to 3rd as he stuck by the pack there. At one moment he was behind all these cars. Now he starts to drift back a little bit on the backstretch.
Well, it happens in a hurry. One bad corner of spoiling your momentum will drop you to the back of this pack. 1 lap to go. Who's it going to be? Tim DeBoer out in front of Dusty.
Kyle Wirt still going hard on the bottom lane there with Wade Thorne tucked in behind Dusty DeBoer. He's riding in the 4th spot. There's 3 wide behind them with Vlasic making a deep run down into corner 3.
Checkered flag in the air. It's going to be Tim DeBoer for the win. Finishing 2nd is Wirt, Dusty DeBoer 3rd. Then Wade Thorne, Tristan De Silva, Craig Vlasic, I believe, and Ryan Hiller.
Ohsweken Speedway presents the Northern Summer Nationals, featuring three-time NASCAR champion Tony Stewart, Xfinity champion Christopher Bell, and sprint car superstar Rico Abreu. It's 2 exciting nights of wild dirt track action. It all kicks off Monday, July 22nd and Tuesday, July 23rd. On Monday, the big guns will strap into 360 sprint cars and battle the best drivers in the Northeast, along with dirt late models, the Canadian UMP Modified Challenge, and the always wild mini stocks. And on Tuesday, Tony, Christopher, and Rico are back in the 360s, and to fill out the night, the 360 sprint cars will be joined by the race of champion Dirt Sportsman, the always thrilling Thunderstocks, and round 6 of the Action Sprint Tour. Adult reserve tickets are only $30. Log on to Ohsweken Speedway today for your camping and ticket reservations. Don't miss the biggest racing party of the summer. It's Tony, Christopher, Rico, and the best drivers in the Northeast. July 22nd and 23rd at Ohsweken Speedway.
Here come the crate sprint cars before we give you the starting lineup for heat race number 1. Alan Downey wanted us to give a shout out to Dave Downey, his dad and his crew chief, who can't be here at the racetrack, but he knows he'll be watching. He wishes you were here and just wants to give you a shout out, let you know he's thinking of you. Now here's the lineup for heat race number 1. Out of Woodstock on the pole, the 29W is Tyler Ward. Outside of him, our points leader from Brantford, the 49L is Lucas Smith. Noelle Teal going to start in third in the 14T. She's out of Hagersville, and starting fourth from Fonthill, the 08 is Stephen Beckett. Starting fifth from Hagersville, the MK8 is Matthew Hill. Starting sixth from Ohsweken, the 9C is Brian Nanakoke. Starting seventh from Kitchener, the 2 is Travis Hostetter, and rounding out the field from Ohsweken, the 28 is Jordan Hill, the man responsible for this beautiful racing surface here tonight.
Ready to go with the first qualifying heat of the night for the Strickland Brantford Chevrolet Crate Sprint Car Division, and Lucas Smith will rock it down into corner number 1. The point leader coming into this evening with Tyler Ward on his inside. Top 2 in points right now in this qualifying heat. You've got the 49L of Lucas Smith. He is the point leader. And the 08 of Stephen Beckett. He right now second in points.
What an improvement for Tyler Ward in that number 29, Greg. He was good for 2 cautions per heat race that he was in early this season. It is a tough learning curve. He's done a nice job running in the second spot right now.
Yeah, I've had some fans even mention to me, wow, that 29W is doing a much better job now, and Tyler Ward is right there running in that second spot, holding off who has been the point leader for a majority of the season, Stephen Beckett.
Doing a nice job. Tyler Ward searching around the racetrack for a line to run. He ran up high that turn in 3 and 4. Got a really nice run down the front stretch. Out in front, it is all Lucas Smith.
Lucas Smith stretching the advantage this time, coming to the cross flags in that the Massage Pro number 49L. Second place, Tyler Ward. Third, Stephen Beckett. Fourth is Brian Nanakoke. And fifth is Jordan Hill in the Club 54 Racing number 28.
Those are the 5 qualified positions right now. Outside of a transfer spot at the moment are Noelle Teal in the 14, Travis Hofstetter in the 2, and Matthew Hill.
Noelle Teal, one of those racing last night with the micro sprints as well, doing double duty every week. And she's challenging right now to get herself into a transfer spot. It was close last week in the B main before trouble came for her.
And there's another driver who's really improved, Noelle Teal. As I say that, she gets a little bit squirrely out of turn 4, does a 360, keeps the car running. Nice job, Noelle Teal.
How does that happen?
Yeah.
Lucas Smith, white flag comes out. Tyler Ward right now running in second. Stephen Beckett third. Fourth, Brian Nanakoke in fifth. Jordan Hill.
White flag flies, 1 more lap to go in these crate sprints. Lucas Smith leading the way off at turn 4. He'll take the checkers. And ladies and gentlemen, how about Tyler Ward coming home second in this heat? Stephen Beckett third, Brian Nanakoke fourth, Jordan Hill rounding out the top 5. Great job for Tyler Ward. Got to be happy for that young man in the 29W. Transfers through his qualifying heat, and he will race in tonight's A main.
And we talked about him under full speed, but for those here in attendance and watching this live, great improvements by the driver in that second spot, Tyler Ward. Doing a great job, as I'm sure every lap helps just a little bit and completing every lap, finishing second. That's got to be huge for him right now. He's got to have a big grin.
Confidence is so big in racing, and that will have to give him a boost of confidence there, and he earned it for sure. Heat race number 2 about to roll out. Starting on the pole, the 22 junior from St. Catharines, it's Alan Galetta. The Galetta flooring sponsored machine outside of row number 1 from Port Colborne, the 5D Coldwell Banker car of Jacob Dykstra. Starting third from Ohsweken, the 38 Victory Games entry from Derek Miller, and alongside him from Freelton in the DJD Graphics number 43, it's Darren Dryden. Starting in 5th out of St. Thomas, the number 52 is Jesse Costa. Starting 6th from Niagara Falls, the 70 is Bailey Hurd. Your final row number 4 from Mount Bridges in the 45, it's Nick Sheridan, and rounding out the field from Burford, the number 12, Brad Heron. That's how they'll line up for heat race number 2. White flag next time. We'll set them loose off of turn number 4. Alan Galetta in the 22 junior. Jacob Dykstra in the 5D. Some good-looking cars in this crate sprint car division. Good-looking cars in all of our divisions, but it's a colorful lot, these crate sprints. Put on a great show down at Merrittville Speedway Monday night. Really, really good racing. Galetta, the pole position, he will fire first. Jacob Dykstra, though, always aggressive up on the outside in that 5D.
Green flag goes in the air, and we are underway here in this qualifying heat 4 of the Strickland Brantford Chevrolet Crate Sprint Car Division. Jacob Dykstra out in front brings Darren Dryden along into the second spot, and it didn't take long for Jesse Costa to get up there in the top 3.
No, that's for sure. And look at them jockeying for position further back. That's Derek Miller in the 38, trying to hold off Alan Galetta and Nick Sheridan in the 45. In the top 3 have pulled away about half a straightaway. Dykstra over Darren Dryden and Jesse Costa.
Dykstra will lead lap number 2 of this 8-lap qualifying heat, with Dryden there in second, Costa third, Sheridan fourth, and you've got Derek Miller back in fifth, Brad Heron sixth, Alan Galetta in seventh, and eighth is Bailey Hurd.
Derek Miller's had a tough few weeks in that 38 machine. It'd mean a lot for him to qualify for this A-main here tonight. But as we say that, Brad Heron in the Ohsweken Speedway number 12 gets to the inside, takes over that 5th spot.
Yeah, slid it in hard into corner number 1, took the spot away. Cross flags out for your leader, Jacob Dykstra. The battle is for second as Darren Dryden and Jesse Costa going at it. Costa lost some ground in corner number 1, gets a good launch off of corner 2.
Down the back straightaway into turn 3, Costa on the outside. He got a big run last lap, but Darren Dryden worked all the way up to the wall, sort of took away the line. He was going to run down the front stretch. This time not quite as close. A few car lengths off the back end of that 43.
Nick Sheridan continuing to impress. He's up there in the 4th spot. This youngster has done everything just flawlessly here. And that Pride Seeds number 45 sitting pretty right now in a transfer spot.
I think this sprint car racing here at Ohsweken is in very good shape for the next number of years with the young talent we've got lined up, Greg.
Yeah, there's a lot of young hot shoes coming up through the ranks, and they get to race against some wily veterans as well, and that helps grow them, and I'm sure we're going to see a number of these drivers move to the 360s down the road as well. Checkers out. Jacob Dykstra gets the win over Darren Dryden at the line. Jesse Costa comes home third. Fourth is Nick Sheridan. Then it's Brad Heron in fifth. Derek Miller will come home in sixth. Seventh is Bailey Hurd, and eighth is Alan Galetta.
Heat race number 3 rolls onto the racetrack. Starting on the pole from Hamilton in the Burger Barn 56, it's Derek Lemaire. Alongside him, out of Beachfield, the number 5 is DJ Christie. Starting third from Six Nations, the number 20 is Johnny Miller. And starting fourth from Welland, the 3B is Blaine Barrow. Starting fifth from Beamsville, the 1A is Paul Klager. Starting sixth from Binbrook, the 29 is Liam Martin. Starting seventh out of Scotland, the 83 is Spencer Davis. And rounding out the field from Hagersville, the 49H is Jerry Hill. Happy belated birthday to Blaine Barrow, the driver of the 3B. As the field doubles up, white flag displayed, ready for a start. Out of 4, Derek Lemaire has been racing full-size cars since long before DJ Christie was born. Even before that, a go-kart competitor for many years. So he's been behind the wheel of race machines for decades. Green flag out of turn 4, Lemaire down low, DJ Christie on the outside, we're off in heat race number 3. Lemaire with good bite on the bottom, he'll come take away DJ Christie's line down the back straightaway and run the inside again in 3 and 4. He'll lead lap number 1 with Christie hot on his heels. They open a bit of a gap over Johnny Miller in the 20. And then it's Liam Martin in the 29 and Blaine Barrow in the 3B, duking it out down the back straightaway. Paul Klager in that Schneider Electric 1A outside of a transfer spot right now. So is Jerry Hill, the car right in front of him. They're losing ground to Blaine Barrow, the driver in the 5th place at the moment. This is a wide racetrack tonight, a lot of usable lanes. You see Derek Lemaire down on the bottom in that 56. He's able to keep his foot to the floor, carry an awful lot of speed. DJ Christie running more of the traditional line, at least the line that's worked the best for the last number of weeks here at Ohsweken, up towards the high side of the racetrack. Not able to close in on Lemaire in that 56 further back. Jerry Hill has closed in on Blaine Barrow for that 5th spot. Paul Klager right there as well. So 3 cars fighting for 1 transfer spot into tonight's A-Main. Klager to the outside of Jerry Hill, closing in on the back bumper of Blaine Barrow with 2 laps to go. Twice more around, and Klager to the inside of Barrow for 5th. Out in front, it is all Derek Lemaire in that 56 machine. DJ Christie has settled into 2nd with Johnny Miller 3rd. Paul Klager has cleared Blaine Barrow for 5th, but Barrow has 1 more lap to try to get it back. Through 3 and 4, one final time, Derek Lemaire going to take the checkered flag in this qualifying heat for the Strickland's GMC Great Sprint Cars. DJ Christie 2nd, Johnny Miller 3rd, Liam Martin 4th, Paul Klager rounds out the top 5. Then is Blaine Barrow, Jerry Hill, and Spencer Davis headed to the B main. Our final heat race of the night, about to roll off the warm-up track off of turn number 3. On the pole, a driver who's had a tough run of bad luck the last little bit. Out of Caledonia, the 88 is Jesse McDonald. Alongside him from Vanessa, the 4 machine is Hannah Farrell. Starting 3rd from Kitchener, the 50 LS is Adrian Staley, and 4th from Ancaster, the 51 of Trevor Young. Starting 5th from Waterloo, the 19D is Alan Downey, and starting 6th from Rockwood, the 74 is Rob Neely. Rounding out the field from Thamesford, the 14 is Eric Gledhill, and from Ranford, the 69K is Jason Dixon. That's your starting lineup for Crate Sprint heat race number 4. White flag going to fly from Kyle McKenzie. Jesse McDonald going to lead them to the green flag with Hannah Farrell alongside. A little bit of gamesmanship between Jesse McDonald and Hannah Farrell as they both crack the throttle down the front stretch under this caution. I don't think you're going to get in the head of Hannah Farrell. She's a confident, competent race car driver out there. I don't think you're going to rattle this young lady.
She was a one-man show or a one-woman show last night, running the pace vehicle, push vehicle, micro sprints, and moving cars, getting them back into running order, and now she's behind the wheel of her own sprint car going down into 1.
I don't know if Doug Leonard's going to like that start very much. Jesse McDonald sort of worked up the racetrack there.
Jesse McDonald the lead lap on Adrian Staley, and the Hurricane Hannah Farrell duking it out for that second spot. Alan Downey again continues to be impressive up there with Trevor Young for the 4th spot.
Rob Neely, boy oh boy, bounced it into turn number 3. I wasn't sure if he was going to make that turn. And Eric Gledhill on the 14, another driver with a big improvement. Out in front is Jesse McDonald. Adrian Staley gets a little squirrely down into 3, gathers it up. Whoa!
Neely into Trevor Young, who is already gathered up. Now Jason Dixon piles in corner number 4. 3 cars gathered together in corner 4 that really had nothing to do with each other. It was Rob Neely who made contact with, who was it? Was it Eric Gledhill? Or
yes.
Alan Downey?
I believe he went over the right rear of Eric Gledhill.
And that put him up into Trevor Young. Now, Trevor had kind of gotten a little high up in corner 3 and was gathering it back up in 4, and then all of a sudden Rob Neely was turned right up into him. And then Jason Dixon came into the pile afterwards.
We're going to have a look at this replay down into 3 and 4. Looking at the right side of the screen, Neely drifts up the track. Gledhill slides up in front of him. You know what? I know I say this a fair bit, but that could have been a lot worse. You know, when you jump over the right rear of a sprint car in a sprint car, you never know where you're going to land.
No, exactly. And that turn that the car took was scary enough with other cars coming in his direct path. And you're right, that could have been a whole lot worse.
And I'm sure Rob Neely isn't feeling that right now, nor is Trevor Young. But at some point they'll look back and say, you know, we're replacing a couple of parts on this race car when we could have been replacing everything.
Yeah. Man.
I wonder where Neely would have landed if Trevor Young wasn't on the outside of him. I'm sure he couldn't have saved it.
Have another look at it again here, and just the speed as he launches off that right rear of Eric Gledhill and turns so quick. And Trevor Young, wrong place, wrong time.
And the last person to join our broadcast on Facebook was Trevor Young. Clint, see if he pulled his phone out from inside the car to watch the replays. Front axle looks to be relocated a little bit in that 51 of Trevor Young. Question on the feed from Joe Martin. Why no yellow for Jesse McDonald? Was a jump start. They've shown the yellow to other drivers for doing that. And it really is a discretion call, and we sit in a different spot up here than does Doug Leonard, the race director, and we look for different things. So it is all in the eyes of Doug Leonard, the race director, those decisions. And
I want to give a happy birthday shout out to Tisha Turkey, who is turning 11 tomorrow, from mom and dad and all of her siblings. And as usual, they're watching the races from Glooscap First Nations in Nova Scotia. So happy birthday, Tisha Turkey, turning 11 tomorrow.
And you'll notice if you're watching the feed at home, there's been a couple of commercials in tonight's broadcast, and that's how we're able to keep the stream free for people. And I'm looking forward to the time when we can get Wi-Fi throughout the facility for the fans so they can take things in on their devices as well and do it affordably, Greg.
Yeah, that's, of course, the issue when we have you here. And get out your smartphones. We know there's data that you're incurring on that as well. So if you have an overage, you can send that bill to Adam Ross, care of.
Get in line.
line.
I've got a family of 4. All of them have cell phones, and none of them have, well, never mind.
Finish that. Come on.
It kills me. Kills me. You have incurred $8,000 of extra data this month. Would you like us to unblock it for you? Yes. Can you say happy 20th birthday to Kevin Roberts, his first time here ever? Thanks. That's what we like to see. That's what we do it for. Watch it from home. Say, wow, I've got to get out there and catch this show. Come and see it from the grandstands. It gives you a different appreciation for what it is you're watching.
Bill Oldroyd tuned in up in Bayfield. Bill, a long time supporter of sprint car racing and dirt racing down in this area, and we miss having you here, Bill, on Friday nights, that's for sure. Hope you're having fun tonight in Bayfield.
How is Rob Neely still in this heat?
I was wondering the same. Trevor Young took the worst of it, and he was kind of just the innocent bystander. Sometimes that's the way it goes, I guess.
Throughout the career of Rob Neely, I used to watch him in the CASCAR series, and it was like his car was made of cast iron because, it would survive anything, and he would always be running at the end. So good for him. Rob Neely out there in the 5th spot in a transfer position.
Jesse McDonald has to feel good to be back out in front after the number of weeks he's had. That hood panel is flapping up, is it not?
Well, let's have a
The
look
hood
as he
scoop,
comes
I
on.
thought I saw it flapping up as he went down the backstretch there.
I can't see how it would flap up because there's nothing to flap it up. Like all the air pressure would be pushing it down, I would think, as they're about to take the white flag.
Off of corner 4 they go. White flag is up in the air, and yeah, it's cockeyed on the left side by where the driver's hand would be. The lettering not lined up, and it's just up in the air enough, and you have to wonder if that affects it at all for Jesse McDonald as they go down off of corner 4. Checkers out. Jesse McDonald picks up the win over Hurricane Hannah Farrell. Adrian Staley. You can get to roasting me after this. Eric Ledhill.
Well, which way do Rooster's eyes point? Where did that expression come from? I've used it before, but who coined the term cockeyed?
I don't know.
That's an old term. It had to come from a rooster.
You're avoiding that his hood is actually up in the air.
I couldn't help myself. Anthony Macri watching from Ransomville. Shame on you. You're watching the wrong race. I'm going to Google it.
I already did because I had to when you said it. It says drunk. I got cockeyed last night. Or crooked or askew, not level, says the dictionary.
Should I have said cattywampus? Would that have been better for you, Adam?
Well, it comes from the early 19th century, apparently from the verb cock and eye. And
You could turn anything into something, can't you?
Well,
You've never heard the term cockeyed before.
I've heard the term cockeyed all the time. I just wondered where the heck did it come from? So the simple definition is not quite right.
Which is your definition? You are not quite right. Adam Ross cockeyed.
Listen, prepare to learn something. There's a B main
here
for
we
the
go.
mini stocks on the racetrack, but the word detective, someone sent the word detective. How did the word cockeyed originate? I checked your archives and was surprised to find it was not there. Cockeyed is an interesting word. It first appeared in print in the early 19th century, although we can assume it had already been in oral use for some time prior to that date, and since that time has developed a number of meanings. Its original use was to mean squint-eyed, as if, for instance, the person was displaying a skeptical or suspicious attitude, or, of course, simply suffering from myopia.
This segment is brought to you by the letter B in the number 7.
I was going to say, for an example, I just walked through the pits and told all the 360 drivers they are up right after this event, and they all looked at me like I was cockeyed.
There you go.
There you
See?
go.
Clint plays along, Greg.
And you know what? It was dark back there, and I said, come on, guys, we want to make sure you guys get a race in, because the mini stocks are up next. We're going to hold them to the end. And, of course, the beautiful red Sailors guy comes in behind, and I look a bit foolish, but if the rains come, I won't be a fool. Here we go.
That is a freaky sky.
Oh yeah, we're racing.
More
B
on the
main for the mini stocks.
More on the term cockeyed when we come back. Christopher French darts out to the lead in that 54 machine. He'll lead the way over Reichman in the 93, and Mike Sarantakos in a B main. He has not had the kind of night he wanted.
Now there he is up into the 3rd position. Need to track down how many transfer from this B main, Clint. Do you know by chance? As we've got Christopher French out in front of Andy Reichman. Mike Sarantakos running 3rd.
7's the magic number, guys. 7 will transfer.
One car will pack it up here tonight.
Well, come on, we don't want it to be the pinball. But it's not looking good for Guymerson as we complete lap number 2. Christopher French by half a straightaway over Reichman and Sarantakos.
Christopher French, he's driven a couple of different cars this year. Someone suggested that's a Ford Focus hatchback. He also has the Ford Mustang. Nonetheless, it's hooked up here tonight in this B main as he'll lead at the halfway point. 3 laps in, 3 to go in the HRW Automotive Mini Stock B main. You're still looking up.
It's a long story. I'm going to post the link in our feed.
2 laps left to go here in the B main for the mini stocks. I need to seek counseling.
It's a B main for mini stocks where one car doesn't qualify. And I knew if something exciting happened, you were going to say something with all sorts of energy. But as we look, Christopher French nearly a full straightaway advantage over Reichman, Sarantakos, and Newell battling for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. One final time through turn 4 for Christopher French. A good run in this Consi. He'll take the win. Who's going to come home 2nd? Sarantakos down low. Reichman on the outside. It'll be Sarantakos, Reichman, Newell rounding out the top 5. Is that 6 machine? Cody Somerville driving the 6.
All right, so with the features coming up, we're going to do the program prize draw and the fan appreciation prize draws very quickly. Right now, up first, the program prize draw. Get your fan appreciation tickets out as well. We'll do that right after that. Program prizes. You'll collect these down to the base of the flag stand here in just a moment. I believe they're coming here with the prizes for you. Lucky Pro.
Ohsweken Speedway presents the Northern Summer Nationals, featuring 3-time NASCAR champion Tony Stewart, Xfinity champion Christopher Bell, and sprint car superstar Rico Abreu. It's 2 exciting nights of wild dirt track action. It all kicks off Monday, July 22nd and Tuesday, July 23rd. On Monday, the big guns will strap into 360 sprint cars and battle the best drivers in the Northeast, along with dirt late models, the Canadian UMP Modified Challenge, and the always wild mini stocks. And on Tuesday, Tony, Christopher, and Rico are back in the 360 360s. And to fill out the night, the 360 Sprint Cars will be joined by the race of champion Dirt Sportsman, the always thrilling Thunderstocks, and round 6 of the Action Sprint Tour. Adult reserve tickets are only $30. Log on to Ohsweken Speedway today for your camping and ticket reservations. Don't miss the biggest racing party of the summer. It's Tony, Christopher, Rico, and the best drivers in the Northeast. July 22nd and 23rd at Ohsweken Speedway.
Nine. 46669. Welcoming those back watching live online as we go through our fan appreciation draw numbers. 46844, 46844, 46588, 46588. Again, if you have any of these appreciation numbers, go down to the main entryway and claim your prize. 46740, that's a senior youth ticket. 46740. 60134, 60134, and 46815, 46815. Children's ticket to 46783, 46783. Season pass tickets 110988, 110988. 893643, 893643, 110981, 110981, and 893652, 893652. And then the school tickets 25634, 25634, 25608, 25608, and 25624, 25624. Those are the fan appreciation numbers for tonight. Make your way down to the main entryway to claim those prizes. You can get those program prize numbers as well. The prizes down at the base of the flag stand. Cool Kids Ice and Water Core Pack Merchandising Sprint Cars ready to go with their feature event starting from the pole. Last week's winner out of Fenwick, Ontario. Drive the Bradshaw Brothers Ohsweken Speedway Air Express car number 0, the Red Rocket, Jim Hoopinen. Starting from second out of Alden, New York in the composite Fireworks Composite Merzac Enterprises 49K. That's the straight shooter, Scott Kruder. Going from position number 3 out of Scotland, Ontario, driving the Styes Tree Service Total Rentals Ackland Insurance car number 87X. That is Sean Evans. And going from position number 4 in the Burger Barn Ace One Construction Mobile One car number 13 from Keister Center, it's Corey Turner. Going from 5th from Dunnville, Ontario, driving the Kingpin Farms Aiken Motors Burger Barn Racing car number 91. It's Ryan Turner. Alongside him, going from 6th from Dorchester, Ontario, driving the Case IH Ohsweken Speedway Air Express number 1. It's Holly Porter. Going from 7th out of Scotland, driving the original Traders Energy Sovereign Fusion Burford Heating and Air Conditioning 47X, D-Dubs Dylan Westbrook, and alongside him, going from the 8th spot from Bedford, Ontario, and the Jennifer Hatch Coldwell Banker Tim's Lawn Care Dykstra Racing car number 5D, that is Shane Ross. Starting in position number 9 out of Keister Center in the Charlie B. Honey Mudcat Entertainment Center, Pine Spring in alignment number 11, that's Jamie Turner. And going from position number 10 out of Brantford in the Hills Tire and Gas, Brown Auto Service, Little Bend 110. It's Jake Brown. Going from 11th in the Case IH Ohsweken Speedway Renway Energy car number 68 is Aaron Turkey. And starting in position number 12 from Charing Cross in the ERW Contracting number 9B, it's Scott Burke. Going from 13th from Port Colborne in the DVC Contracting 71S, it is Sean Slider. Lining up 14th position in the G&J Contracting number 81 from Lewiston, New York, it's Derek Jonathan. Going from 15th out of Brantford, the CarQuest Auto Parts Brown Auto Service number 10 of downtown Mitch Brown. And starting in position number 16 from Grimsby, Ontario, it's Travis Cunningham. Starting 17th out of Cheektowaga, New York, the Fireworks Composite Merzac Enterprises number 94, it's Todd Hoddick. And lining up to his outside from the 18th starting position from Keister Center in the Jason's Enterprise, Total Coatings, car number 46, it's Kevin Pauls. Going 19th from Beamsville, the Part Source J&E Recovery 88H, that is Josh Hansen. And alongside him, going from the 20th starting spot from Port Colborne, Ontario, driving car number 43 tonight, that is Scott Shirk. Scott Shirk lining up in position number 20. And he is aboard the Edwards Construction and Excavating number 43. And then we've got Mac DeMann, the highlight man from Mississauga, Ontario. He'll line up back there in position number 21. Steve Lyons goes 22nd, and Dan Nanakoke will go 23rd as we get ready for the double greens with Jim Hoopinen, Scott Kruder on the front row, the A-main for the Cool Kids Ice and Water Core Pack Merchandising Sprint Cars.
clean start now. Oh, not so much. One in turn number 1 has come up lane. The yellow flag flies.
A huge bar off of somebody's car flew into the infield in corner number 1. I don't know if it was the side rail off of Dylan Westbrook's car or what it was, but a huge rail piece landed down the inside wall of corner 1, and they've got one car on the high side. And that's Shane Ross went with Dylan Westbrook, and there was another car involved as well.
Greg, I've seen a lot of skies in my time here at Ohsweken, and it's always something to behold when the sun sets here. I've never seen what we've seen over the last 30 minutes with the changing hues of. We have seen storms blow past in the last 45 minutes on the back straightaway. It is uncanny.
Well, guys, spots on the front end here for the 5D of Shane Ross. The issue was there were 3 wide coming down the front straightaway. He hit in the middle and got caught there. So he is going to take his 2 minutes in the work area. So we'll have to follow him back, and we'll see if they figure they can get this one fixed. We look in here at the front axle is totally bent. It's smiling at us, if you will. The right side is jacked up quite a bit, and they're going to have issues here on this car. Oh, the other big problem is the steering pitman arm is totally gone. Sean, I don't know if you can zoom in on here. The pit attach to the side front axle, but they're going to take 2 minutes. I'd be shocked if they can make this one work.
I wonder if that's the piece that's laying in the infield there, because it went sky high and then landed.
Yes. It would be the same piece, Greg. It would be the pitman arm that went up.
So interesting to see if the other drivers involved had any damage from that at all, because there was quite the pinching of Shane Ross down the front stretch, as you mentioned, Clint. He kind of got boxed in there, and I'm not sure if we'll get to see a replay or not on that one, but wild start to this one for the Cool Kids Ice and Water Core Pack Merchandising Sprint Cars.
There's some heavy hitters out at the front here. Jim Hoopinen, last week's winner. Scott Kruder. One of the more dominant cars this season.
I believe Spencer says he has that replay, so we'll see if he can
I'll believe it when I see it.
load that up.
He's teasing us. But man, oh man, the cars look great under the lights here tonight.
Oh, does not have it. Sorry. False anticipation.
That's what it is, I feel, when the night starts.
False anticipation.
Sitting right next to you thinking this is going to be it. This is going to be the night when we... What did I say at the start of the night, Greg?
You did say that. Best show ever.
Oh, you were miserable.
Yes, I was. Will not deny.
So was Clint. I'm going to be happy. I'm going to be happy right until I go home tonight.
Your turn was last week, was it not?
Was I grumpy last week?
One of the last 2 weeks you came in and you were very un-Adam Ross.
Uh-oh.
You were surly. Not to be confused with early, which you never are.
That's not entirely true, Greg, and my wife is here. She can attest. There are moments. I'm rarely late for dinner.
You teed that one up and I just whiffed.
Yeah, it happens. Hunter Hurtendi, Dave Bailey is indeed racing tonight. He's got a fresh power plant in that number 49. Thank you for the note. We're going to try to set them loose once again. Jim Hoopinen in the Ohsweken Speedway number 0. Scott Kruder in the black 49 on the outside of row number 1.
Green flag comes out again. We'll see if we can get through cars 1 and 2 cleanly this time around as they all shuffle down in there. And what a run right there by Scott Kruder. Dives to the inside of Jim Hoopinen, takes the lead, and he will have it off at corner 4.
Hoopinen second, Ryan Turner third. A little bit of dust coming off of turn number 4. That'll be making visibility tough for drivers near the back of the field as Jim Hoopinen trying to fight back on the bottom.
Hoopinen got that first win with Steyrs Racing 1 week ago, looking for another one here. That one was a race cut short by the weather, and he didn't get to celebrate in victory lane. Here he is challenging against Scott Kruder, but Kruder pulls away by a couple of car lengths into 3.
A couple of cars have started deep in this field that are fun to watch right now. Steve Lyons in the 9, Mac DeMann in the 17. They passed a few cars that are working the outside. A lot of the traffic in that part of the field.
For second is Dylan Westbrook. Slide job right in front of Jim Hoopinen.
I'm not sure Jim Hoopinen would have enjoyed that slide job. He's going to return the favor there. Didn't quite have him lined up to complete that slider, but Hoopinen back to third. Dylan Westbrook up to second as laps are winding down.
Gap between first and second closing rapidly. 6 laps left to go. The straight shooter holds it down, but D-Dubs is on a mission trying to get back towards the front with the caution flag coming out. We got one stop to the entryway of pit lane, and it's Aaron Turkey coming to a stop.
Let's see if Jim Hoopinen rolls up on Westbrook in the 47. Aaron Turkey climbing out of that 68. I almost wonder if there was some hot fluid came out of that car.
Yeah, he looked to be getting out of the car as quickly as he could, and then having some issues as he got out. Was hoping for a good run here tonight on Frankie Turkey Memorial Night, but not going to be. Scott Kruder, the leader in this one over Dylan Westbrook. And Jim Hoopinen, Ryan Turner, Corey Turner rounding up the top 5. Click.
Turkey here. Aaron, what happened with the 68 car?
Something let go. I think either power steering fluid or oil got onto me. It blew up all in the cockpit, and that was the end of my night. But the track was really good. I got to give a shout out to my best friend Jordan for giving us a smooth surface with that big curb up top. It felt really good. The car can hold on tonight.
Good job, Aaron. Have it. Aaron Turkey, guys, saying power steering line or something hot came apart in the car, got up all in the cockpit on him, and he had to back out of this one. But you hear, he with a big smile on his face, sent a shout out to Jordan Hill for the track prep tonight.
Jordan Hill deserves the kudos. He put together a great racetrack, Clinton. We're seeing some phenomenal racing. Thankfully, we're not seeing much of the racetrack causing parts to break on the race cars. The drivers are doing that to each other the way it's supposed to be, Greg.
Yeah, it's been a great night for this racing surface, and we've had a lot of folks and viewers online commenting on the surface as well, and it's been noticeably better. And to add to that as well, I'm sure the extra week of hot sun that we had this week helped the process as well, as we had, as we've been mentioning, so much precipitation in the springtime, which was a spring that we basically didn't even get. We went from winter to summer here, and it's a good week of hot sun helped the situation as well. You see the skies continue to be beautiful here tonight, and everyone around us has had weather. We haven't had it yet.
That's the optimism I like to see, Greg. So a little bit of lap traffic. Scott Kruder going to lead the way. It looks like Jake Brown will be between the leader and Dylan Westbrook. Hoddick will be between Westbrook and the 0 of Jim Hoopinen. Rob Shane Ross made the show. He had a mishap on the original start, and they could not fix the race car to get him back on the track. So 6 laps to go. There's actually a chance they will get back to lap traffic. In fact, there's a good chance. Single file restart, Greg, so they almost are half a track ahead when they get to the green flag, because they're at full song. The leaders are in the back of the field still at turn 3, getting up to speed.
And The guy I feel bad for tonight is Steve Lyons, who is so good in his qualifying heat. And to that poor starting spot in the feature, look what it's done for him. And you have to think if he was near the front, a little bit more clear traffic, he would have been a contender here tonight. Not able to make the progress that he needs, and even Mac DeMann hasn't progressed as much as I would have expected him to from the back either.
Well, see, Mac DeMann, what's his advantage every week? He's got cojones the size of beach balls, and the racetrack being as rough as it is, it really pays off. We're on a smooth racetrack where a lot of people can get up to speed, so a little bit more challenging for Mac DeMann.
Back to the green flag, a couple of lap cars mixed in there as we got Jake Brown and Todd Honick, that blue 110 and the black and orange 94 lap down. So your top three right now are Scott Kruder in first, Dylan Westbrook in second, and Jim Hoopinen riding in third.
Jake Brown keeping down to the inside in that 110. That allows lots of room for Westbrook to get around on the outside. 5 laps to go.
So Scott Kruder looking for redemption after having that bad crash a couple of weeks ago, out in front, stretching his advantage over Dylan Westbrook. And if you go back about a month ago with Scott Kruder, he was showing some frustration. He didn't know what it was going to take to beat Dylan Westbrook. Tonight, maybe he can find out. Still got 4 laps left to go, make it 3 this time by, but this could be the night for Scott Kruder.
And that car is a little bit angry in 3 and 4. 1 and 2, it looks great. Down 3 and 4 last time, it really got twitchy on him. Much better line this time, coming off of 4 with 2 laps to go.
Jim Hoopinen settled in there in that third spot, really not challenging anymore on the back end of Dylan Westbrook as we got problems down in corner 4. Dan Anacoke had issues. Everyone keeps going straight. Somehow the leaders come down the front stretch with a white flag.
Kruder by 10 car lengths over Dylan Westbrook. 1 more lap to go. He looks at a lot of lap traffic down the back straightaway.
Kruder into some heavy lap traffic. Here he goes from the high side. Dylan Westbrook trying to close the gap, but it won't be enough. Schefter's come out. Scott Kruder straight shoots into victory lane. Dylan Westbrook will come home in second. Jim Hoopinen, another solid performance. Up there in the top 3.
Hard not to be happy for Scott Kruder and the whole Honick Racing team after what they've been through this season, the amount of work they've had to put in, repairing those cars, replacing those cars, and it's paid off with a great victory.
He is going to be one happy driver. Lone Wolf Fireworks lights up the sky here at Ohsweken Speedway, our official firework provider. Lone Wolf Fireworks over on Highway 54 Middleport. If you need some fireworks for some summer celebrations this year like Scott Kruder's having right now, you can get those at Lone Wolf Fireworks.
Still lots of racing yet to come. Clinton Jeffrey, what do you got?
Just want to send a couple of housekeeping announcements out here. Want to send a shout out to the Brant, Manitoba 4-H Exchange Club, all sitting on the backstretch. Make some noise, kids from out west. First time here, hopefully you're enjoying, and thanks John and everybody at Middleport Mechanical for bringing them over. Hopefully the folks from Manitoba are having a good time here tonight. About 30 youngsters experiencing their first dirt track race here at Ohsweken. Also want to send a quick shout out to our school winners who were here as part of the barbecue. Our top school ticket sellers are here tonight, and we gave away a great family prize pack, including a brand new Jibs bike. And I want to say thanks to the DeBoer family for helping us manage that today. But our big winners were the Hendricks family, who won the grand prize here tonight. A brand new Jibs bike for the student. Mom and Dad each walk away with Bath and Body Works and Canadian Tire gifts. And for the other siblings, some McDonald's gift certificates. So congratulations to the Hendricks family, our top sellers in our school program for this season. Hopefully you're enjoying your night here. That's all I got, guys. Crate B Main coming out now, and we are getting set to roll.
12 cars slated to make the start in this B main. It looks like one just rolled straight into the pits, but scheduled to roll off like this. On the pole from Kitchener in the number 2 is Travis Hofstetter. Outside of row 1 from Waterloo, the 19D is Alan Downey. Starting third from Hagersville, the 49H is Jerry Hill. Fourth from Welland, the 3B is Blaine Barrow. Starting fifth in the 38 out of Ohsweken, it's Derek Miller. Starting sixth in the 70 out of Niagara Falls, it's Bailey Hurd. Starting 7th from Hagersville, the MK8 is Matthew Hill. Starting 8th from Ancaster, the 51 is Trevor Young. Starting 9th from Scotland, the 83 is Spencer Davis. Starting 10th from Hagersville, the 14T is Noel Teal. Scheduled to start 11th from St. Catharines, the 22 junior is Alan Galetta, and 12th from Brantford, the 69K is Jason Dixon. That is how they were scheduled to roll out. Looks like we're missing 2 cars. Four cars will transfer into tonight's A main for the Strickland's GMC Crate Sprints. We often see twin B mains with 2 cars transferring. Tonight we get 1 B main with 4 cars going to the show, and a yellow flag is going to fly as Noel Teal has lost the handle down in turn 2.
That brings the Enrium Dynamics number 14 to a halt down there in corner 2 and puts us under the caution here in the Brantford, Strickland Brantford Chevrolet Crate Sprint Car B main event. Again, want to give a shout out to Case IH Wheels Farm Equipment for all the great support here at the Speedway throughout the years, and tonight race night sponsors. They do an awesome job here at the Speedway, and got their equipment got put to good use this week in getting this track surface into shape. As we get a replay, a quick look here at Noel Teal just going around with a bit of a lazy spin down there, and car comes to a stop wedged up against the wall, so that's the reason for the caution.
What do you got planned for this weekend, Greg?
Family. Family time. Got some family coming up that I haven't seen in a little while. Get to spend time with them. My aunt, who just came through a big battle with cancer, and we almost lost her around Christmas, and now she's in remission, doing well, and she's coming to visit, get to see the kids tomorrow, and that's always a good day.
That's awesome.
How about you?
Got a big event. Everyone in our family goes to, you wouldn't know what to look, but we go to a fitness studio, Proactive Training and Nutrition in Cambridge, and they have a customer appreciation weekend. So it's basically a big camp out in Cambridge where there'll be games and...
Not burgers and pizza, I'm assuming.
Yeah, sometimes you can't be healthy all the time. So we might have some beverages, we might have some burgers and dogs, and I'm sure there'll be some healthy choices, which I'm not going to make. But camp out there in Cambridge and have a good weekend. The whole family goes, so it's just like you say, when you get a chance to get the family together, you take advantage of that.
Absolutely. Ready to try this again here with the B main for the Crate Sprint Car Division. Travis Hofstetter has been doing a very nice job. Another one of those drivers that took some time to get going, but has been very solid there in that Cal Tire car number 2.
Look at the difference on this second start. The first start, he tried to pinch the car down and just about spun it out. You could see in the corner here, he let the car come up the racetrack, followed it with the steering wheel, chase it up, and a great run through 1 and 2. As Alan Downey goes out to the front, he'll take away Hofstetter's lane, give the lead to Downey.
Alan Downey, very impressive in that 19D. You'd never know he's stepped out of iRacing into a real car, and here he is leading a B main. Very impressive for Downey as he holds off Jerry Hill, who's a veteran of this division.
Blaine Barrow running in the 4th spot in that 3B, being chased down by Derek Miller in the 38. Barrow has that top wing just about flat, which means there's not a ton of downforce going to those rear tires for forward bite. So he's counting on the track to have plenty of bite and no aerodynamic resistance with a flat top wing.
Meanwhile, at the front, Jerry Hill is taking the lead away from Alan Downey as Jerry works it off at corner 4, across the stripe, and puts 4 laps on the board, 8 to go here in this, tracking him down.
Yeah, scrubbed off.
Really flung it high that last lap out up on the berm in turn 2. Got to the outside of the back straightaway. Then when it came through 3, got really squirrely. Tried to gather back up, got back on the gas. And I got to wonder if something got knocked out of it in the back end of that car that may have messed up the handling for Hofstetter, and problems there for Miller as well in the Victory Games 38. Nice job by Bailey Hurd to avoid, because he had to pause and think, do I go right or do I go left? Stuck to the left and it worked out for him.
Don't forget, you still get those 50-50 tickets. Sellers going through the stands right now in the pink shirts. Flag them down, get in on tonight's draw. Next Friday night, it's Strickland's presenting Drive Safe, Ride Safe, Race Safe, Bicycle Night. Clint, is that the night we give away all the bicycles? I assume that is it.
Yes, it is. Next Friday night is the nights where all the race teams are asked to bring a bicycle to give away to the lucky fans in the stands. So kids, make sure you come on out. Ride safe, race safe, bike night. Next Friday as part of our Strickland's sponsorship night. And they're going to have a huge barbecue of people here next week as well.
Can you break out another fabulous term like cockeyed next week, Greg, that I can go on Google and we add a little bit of education to our program?
I'll be studying the dictionary good and hard this week. Does anyone actually use a physical dictionary anymore, except for a doorstop?
I use the Googles.
Well, Hofstadter says push me, he's good to go. So we're going to shove him off here.
Should mention next Friday night are 4 regular divisions in action, plus the vintage cars will make their only stop next week. So we will get to see the vintage racers for the first time in a couple of years. I don't think they've been here since 2017 or 16.
I don't know what happened to that class, but all of a sudden they started showing up with 40 race cars at some of these events, and man, they're fun to watch. I was down in Quebec City last weekend, and they've got a vintage class, almost like Oscar Hot Rods up here. Mm-hmm. And what I realized watching those cars race is none of them could handle the amount of horsepower that was under the hood. So after about 2 laps, one car would push all the way up to the wall going into the corner where someone else would have to back off early. And it was a lot of fun to watch stock cars racing where they weren't all running exactly the same line and the same speed. You really got to see, okay, this one can take off in a big hurry, but the handling goes away. This one's got gobs of horsepower. It was a lot of fun.
Not cookie cutter racing.
No, it was a good show. A great racetrack down there, Autodrome Chaudière.
Like tempers were flaring a bit there from what I saw on social media after the NASCAR Pinty Series event. Some carnage as well as we get back to this one here in the B main. 5 laps left to go and Jerry Hill gets away from Alan Downey.
Look at Alan Downey's arms inside that race car when he goes through 1 and 2, and I'm looking out the tower at how hard he's working that steering wheel to keep the car on the line he's running. You see his left arm up and down, just hang on to her, baby.
Working it hard, but doing a great job at it up there in that second spot. Bailey Hurd trying to crack the top 4 now as he works around the inside of Spencer Davis. Spencer having a good solid run right there behind Blaine Barrow.
Spencer Davis into a transfer spot. Bailey Hurd wants it bad. He's trying to close in on that 83. The blue 83, Spencer Davis, has the final transfer. Bailey Hurd in the yellow 71 spot out looking in with 2 laps to go.
Jerry Hill, he is right now in the transfer spot along with Alan Downey, Blaine Barrow, Spencer Davis, and Bailey Hurd is the next closest, challenging to get by Davis for that 4th and final spot.
Davis got loose down in turn 2. It allowed Bailey Hurd to close in. He's got 1 more lap. Davis closing on Barrow. Bailey Hurd trying to close on Davis.
It'll be an interesting final lap to see who will transfer in for Jerry Hill. He's set out and ready to take the checkered flag ahead of Alan Downey, who's going to finish behind them.
Big run down the backstretch. Bailey Hurd to the inside of Spencer Davis. Too little, too late. Davis gets the final transfer spot. Bailey Hurd misses the show. So does Trevor Young, Noel Teal, Hofstetter, and Derek Miller.
And Adam, Bailey Hurd misses the A main, but those laps in this B main tonight, although he does not transfer, mean a lot for Bailey. I think just that experience again of chasing and racing for a position that means something. Sure, you may not get the result you want, but it's more experience in a pressure situation.
Well, guys, here's your Case IH track report as we get in the middle of the features. This one vein of clay that we were kind of worried about, you can see it has packed down beautifully. The rest of it, just the next lane up here, is starting to get that hard pack that we want. The next stage for this would be what we would consider the high shine. As this clay gets polished down more, it'll get a little bit slicker, but the track crew have done a fantastic job this week, and we look like we are back here, guys. So that's your Case IH track report on O'Neill's Case IH night here at the races.
Thanks very much, Clint. Yeah, the racetrack has just been, this week, it's been the big story and how good it's been. And next week, we hope it's not a story at all, just because it's like this again, and you don't really need to talk about issues anywhere on the track. And just an excellent job again this week by the crew.
You know, for many years, Ohsweken Speedway was known for having the best racing surface anywhere on dirt, certainly in the Northeast. The drivers that would come up from New York to run the Dirt Sportsman Series, they just loved the track surface here. Had a rough year or two, but hopefully we're over that and things look great here tonight and they can keep it that way. Let's give you the starting lineup for the Thunderstock feature event, the Strickland's GMC. I'm thinking of Crate Sprints, the Middleport Mechanical Thunderstocks. On the pole from Simcoe, the number 4 is Aaron Ruwitsky. Alongside him out of Thorold, in the 11, it's Go Fast Teeple. Starting third from Brantford, the 40 is Derek Liverance. Fourth from Keister Center, the 41 is Adam Plazik. Starting fifth in the number 2, it's Matt Newell. Alongside him out of Brantford, the number 1 is Chris Dickey. Starting 7th from Ohsweken, the 24 is Blake Bomberry Jr. Starting 8th from Harley, the 37, Robert Hoskins. Starting 9th from Hagersville, the 8, Ryan Dinning. Starting 10th from Guelph, the 79, Chris Hale. Starting 11th from Jerseyville, the 53 is Logan Schwedick. And starting 12th, the 28D at Keister Center is Donnie Lampman. Starting 13th from Canfield, the 32 is Mark Fawcett. Starting 14th from Hagersville, the 23 is Trevor DeBoer. Starting 15th out of Keister Center, the 28, Jim Lampman. Out of Victoria, the 84 RK is Ryan Beagle. Kenny Sargent drives the number 25 out of Hamilton. He'll start 17th. Starting 18th from Hagersville, the 49, Dave Bailey. Starting 19th in the 43 from Hamilton, Kyle Andrus. Alongside him in the 6R is Jeff Rulofs. Starting 21st from Brantford, the 13 is Casey Huffman. 22nd from Port Robinson, the 108Z is Zach Bleach. Starting 23rd from Caledonia, the 21X is Mark Bazine. And rounding out the field from Ohsweken, the 38 is Frank Turkey. Clean start through 1 and 2. Look at them fan out off of turn 2 down the back straightaway. They come in the funnel. Adam Plazik, I don't know if he got pinched into the wall and got a little bit squirrely, but things got dicey right around the middle of the pack there, Greg.
Yeah, it's interesting still on the front stretches. Now Ryan Beagle gets pinched right in the middle of the front stretch. We had cars going every which way, and somehow they're all still going the right direction. But Ryan Beagle with problems up in corner number 2 as that car is slow down the back stretch.
I believe he's either got a broken tie rod or a flat right front tire on the 80. Oh, Bomberry goes around, gets collected by Zach Bleach. That'll knock over a couple of concrete blocks. And that is the break Ryan Beagle needed, as his right front tire is flat.
Yep, so he'll go straight to the pit area, try and get that right front fixed. The 84 RK of Ryan Beagle, Zach Bleach, and Blake Bomberry Jr. down there in corners 3 and 4. Clint,
before he pulls away, just hook a chain to the back of the car and that block. He'll pull it back into place.
Pull the teeth right back in place. Looks like we can get Blake Bomberry back in here. They're going to check on the 108 of Bleach over there, and we'll work on getting a tractor here to get Blake Bomberry out of this car. He looks all right, though, guys. I think he can finish it. We just got to get him unhooked here.
That was a solid head-on collision there, Adam. Did you see the replay? Wow.
Hit him square.
That'll make your teeth hurt for a couple of days.
As long as you don't see steam pouring out from under the hood, you're like, yes, the radiator survived. He can live on to fight some more.
The wheels, they be turning, but there's nothing to get traction with. Interesting start to that one. There was too much action to call throughout the pack. And Ryan Beagle took the worst of it with that right front flat. And you mentioned Adam Plazik may have gotten in the backstretch wall in that opening lap as well. He's been shuffled back mid-pack now.
These track conditions are what I really miss for the Thunderstocks, because they'll go into turn 1 and there's so many lines for them to choose. They'll actually fan out 6, even 7 lines being run through the turn, and then they've got to funnel down into 2, maybe 3 rows on the backstretch. You can run 7 wide down the backstretch, but everybody wants to be closer to the wall to get a better angle going into turn 3.
So you see the work going on for those watching online, trying to find a way to get Blake Bomberry's car off of that block. The bumper is laying on the top of that cement block, and the rear wheel's not touching the track, so he's
Well, for the people watching from the grandstands, Blake Bomberry's car is also sitting on the block with the back bumper
What did I
resting
say?
on top. For people watching
yes.
online.
Yes, sorry.
As though there's a different
Sorry,
problem
thank
for
you.
the people watching from home compared to the people sitting in the grandstands.
Thank you for correcting everything I say, dear.
Thank you for
When do I get a wedding ring from you?
thank you for choosing the ridiculous things you say, Captain Obvious. See my wedding band?
I'm not looking at you anymore.
It got cut off my finger in Mexico because I tried to catch a football, jammed my finger, and it started swelling like crazy, and I didn't want to go to a Mexican hospital.
Had nothing to do with all your eating.
No, it was catching the football.
Bloating. Football. K.L. Bundy.
So the medical staff couldn't help me. I'm going to pretend you're just not talking. So the medical staff
usual.
had nothing. Like, they tried to loop me up and pull it, but it just wasn't happening. So we got some of the grounds crew out. And the grounds crew doesn't have quite the same English-speaking capability as, say, the hospitality staff does. But through sign language, we were able to say, get this damn thing off my finger because I'm not going to the hospital.
Uh-oh. Doug has a note.
Did you really just come over here to write a note? No victory lane and no intermission. We've run 2 features already.
Take him with you, Doug, please.
Thanks, Doug Leonard. He's doing a great job. He misses us. Don't you think? Like,
I don't think so. I'm pretty positive he doesn't miss us. I wish I could miss us.
What would you do on a Friday night?
Let me count the things.
Listen, I guarantee.
Have some beef jerky and be quiet. It's not even 10 yet, and we're falling off the rails here.
Yeah, normally that's a 10:30 type crash.
Glenn is watching tonight. Maybe we should behave. So for those here and online,
Just don't
they
say
have
it.
Blake
Wait.
Bomberry's car off the wall. I understand.
Just
I get
disregard.
your point. I get your point.
Disregard the first sentence. Hey, folks, they have Blake Bomberry's car off the wall. For those of you in the bathroom right now but can still hear the speakers, Blake Bomberry's car has been removed from the wall and the wall has been replaced. Don't forget to wash your hands. See, if you did that, at least there'd be a purpose.
Public service announcement.
Right. You remember when we first walked in here tonight and it was about 112 degrees outside, and then you walk in here and it was about 60?
That was fantastic.
Heavenly. The air conditioning is alive and well up here. We are back under yellow.
For those of you at home.
I was about to say
Attendance.
that.
I knew it.
Go Fast People in the 11. Showing some real speed at different points of this season. Just various problems have knocked him out. Did you see his Facebook post earlier today, Greg?
No.
Many of these drivers have started making very basic Facebook posts. Hey, I raced Oshwegan last night. I started 7th. I finished 4th. But Go Fast People post, I was sitting there. It's Friday. I'm sitting there mowing down on Beamsville Fish and Chips. Like, he gets his sponsor in and thinks of a way he could improve his race car. It was just a beautiful, authentic sponsor mention. Nailed it. Clint, you were going to chime in.
Yeah, we have a rule here. You cannot race without a hood. And he was real upset. He had one of his best runs going. He got black flag last week for running without a hood. They had a hood pin problem. But it's a safety issue to get fluids out of the driver's space. So that's the story. Teepa looking for redemption here tonight.
Happy birthday on July 10th to Martin Ayrton, Jonathan Ayrton's dad, in the 21.
Along those lines, I did see Blaine Barrow who wished a happy birthday too at the sign-in sheet. So I think he's having a birthday today.
I believe you are correct. If it's not today, it's real soon. So I think I saw someone wish him a happy early birthday on the feed.
Jamie Cowie says, I smell a divorce coming. I think he's talking about you and I, Adam. You can have the kids, Adam.
My 2 and your 7.
Ryan Denning and Go Fast People out in front. And this is the Ryan Denning we're used to seeing, and we saw it in the qualifying heats tonight. I bet he likes this track.
Dave Bailey running the extreme outside in that 49, trying to work his way up from the back. Out in front, it's Ryan Denning opening up. 8 car lengths now over Go Fast People, battling for second. And man, these cars look good on the track tonight. As I say, just the smooth track, not bouncing. They just look fantastic, Greg.
Yeah, they're settled and they're able to fan out like you mentioned, and seeing all these different racing lines that we've missed because, like you said before, the previous weeks they're going into the corners trying to pick the lane to avoid the bump. Tonight it's like, let's pick the lane that's going to keep my momentum, and it's creating some fantastic racing.
So now you know when you see someone absolutely door another driver, they meant to do it. It wasn't, you can't blame the ruts.
Well, guys, Blake Bomberry being shown the black flag, as we just mentioned, cannot race without a hood, and he does not have one on out there, so he will be sent back to the pit area.
Thanks, Clint.
Disappointment for Blake Bomberry, the driver of that 24. Ryan Beagle has passed about half a dozen cars, and he's coming out of the pits. They changed that right front tire, and he's worked his way up through the field. Still a long way to go for the driver of that red number 84.
He was the beneficiary, had plenty of time to change the tire under that long delay. Is Ryan Denning at the front. Holding off Go Fast People, Trevor DeBoer. Chris Hale's right there in the thick of it along with Logan Schwedek, and here comes Dave Bailey. He looks to the inside of the 53.
Dave Bailey up into the top 5 in that 49 machine. The black flag being shown to Blake Bomberry again. Go Fast People starting to pick up the pace again. He had dropped back there to 3rd, and it looked like he was going to be hanging on, trying to fight for it, but now he's putting the pressure on Trevor DeBoer, running a different line than just about everybody out there. It's a longer way around, but it gets him a big head of steam coming off the turns.
DeBoer right there, about a half a car length off the back bumper of Ryan Denning in the Club 54 Racing number 8. Second all-time on the win list in the Thunderstock division.
Look at
Dave Bailey.
Look at Derek Liference in the 40 and Rob Hoskins in the 37. 2 of our more aggressive drivers in the field, racing side by side for a couple of laps here. That's quite a battle.
Here comes Trevor DeBoer, the battle for the lead. DeBoer steps to the outside line, looks to the outside of Denning, going in 1 and 2, looking for a good launch off that second corner, and he'll get it.
DeBoer with a good run down the back straightaway. They'll race into turn number 3 side by side. Ryan Denning inches ahead on corner entry, but Trevor DeBoer with that momentum, he's going to take the lead and clear the 8 machine.
So it's Trevor DeBoer out in front now for Ryan Denning. Dave Bailey back there in the 3rd spot. Chris Hale running 4th. Keeple holding on to a 5th spot. Logan Schwedek's been shuffled back to 6th. 7th is Ken Sargent. 8th is Rob Hoskins. 9th, Jim Lampman. And 10th, Donnie Lampman.
How much fun would that be, father and son racing together out there in the top 10? Yellow flag is out.
Mark Bazine around the corner too. Making me realize it's been way too long since I've been to the Burger Barn.
How long has it been?
It's probably been about 3 months.
Stop it.
Seriously.
They're still open? I heard there's a seat in the Burger Barn with your cheeks like permanently implanted in it.
I haven't been there that often, but it's highly suggested. The nice thing is they've got such a huge lineup of different burger combinations that you can literally go for a couple of years and pick something different every time. And then they always have specials that they add that are kind of one-off specials.
Did I tell you about getting a salad? It wasn't the last time I was there.
Was it intravenously, or I can't see you eating one?
How sad was it? Adam and I both went to Burger Barn and had salads that day.
Okay, wow. That's what it was.
But it was awesome. The chicken Caesar salad there is one of my favorite things there.
I didn't get
what
the
did you
chicken
have with
Caesar.
it?
I got a different salad because I'm not a chicken Caesar kind of guy.
I got the large, Greg. I had a salad.
Wow. You are getting old.
I had chicken with
I
it.
can't do it. I don't care how good it is.
The problem I got is the portions are so big. I go there, Glenn laughs at me. I asked to eat off the kiddie menu. I just want a couple sliders. I can't eat the whole burger, but we love it there. And all the support they give us, of course, big supporters of the Northern Summer Nationals coming up in a couple weeks. Camping is selling out. We got to turn everything into a commercial. Here we go. What a run for Ryan Denning, though. And I was talking to Jordan Hill. I said, listen, man, you just got to put some hours in this. He said, I got all my buddies. I said, don't get caught up on hours. He goes, oh, they'll all come for free. Ryan, Aaron, they'll help me pack it. And here they are. They're out running good because they've been out here to help them put the time in.
Back to racing action as we finish all of our commercial feeds here. And back underway. Ryan Denning got all sorts of sideways off of corner 4. Chris Hale. Oh, what? Does he have a flat tire on the 8? Well, maybe not, but he looked pretty squirrely there in corner 1 as well for Ryan Denning, who was up there in that second spot. Now has drifted, holding on to 5th.
Yeah, he pitched the car down into the turn and it did some funky things on him, and he is back almost out of the top 5 as holy moly.
Wow. Rob Hoskins was almost in a bad way there on the front stretch, but we stay straight and narrow as they come down this time to complete lap number 14 for Trevor DeBoer.
Rob Hoskins was going straight. The 2 cars that he was hitting at the same time were a little bit cockeyed.
They were cockeyed. Cattywampus. Trevor DeBoer over Dave Bailey right now. Bailey has a huge lead in the standings, and Trevor DeBoer would like Dave to maybe be a little further back so he can gain some ground on the points. 5 laps left to go for Trevor DeBoer. Troubles.
Kenny Sargent goes up the racetrack. Ryan Beagle had nowhere to go. Stoves into the back of that 25 machine. He has done some damage to the front end of the 84. So while we're under yellow, let's talk a little bit about Chris Dickey in the 1 machine out of Brantford. Actually, he's just heading to the pits. If we can get a shot of him up there in turn number 2. This week, he put up a post. Thank you, Chris, for staying on the racetrack so we can get a shot of you there. He put a post on Facebook about how proud he was to be working on the 1 machine in the shop with his 2 boys, 14 years old and 16 years old. And you can see it there if you're watching the feed. Mike Thorne stepped in to loan them an engine because he blew his motor last Friday night. But it just fills him with pride to be able to work with his boys. He said they're really hard working, but just being able to spend that time together and know that the boys have something positive to focus on there in the shop. He was pretty proud of that. I love seeing posts like that, Greg.
Yeah, it's something different from the norm right now, where you see a lot of kids that age have got their faces buried in their phones. We're just approaching that stage, right, Clint?
Yeah, I actually had a big battle with Jack before I left today. I said, you are not spending your whole summer playing PlayStation. So then I ordered him a pizza and left for the races. So how good am I doing? Quick report there, Ken Sargent, flat right front. And they called for a double up, so he's going to need some slick work back there from that Club 54 crew to get ready, guys.
And Clint already knows this, but I got Connor an early birthday present. I went down to Jibs in Burlington and picked him up a bike. So I was chatting with Mark Zuba, and he said last year their whole industry took a beating. Stores had to close down because Fortnite. All the kids using their parents' credit card to play Fortnite, they weren't out on their scooters or skateboards or bikes, and it really affected the entire industry. Coming back to green, Trevor DeBoer in the 23, Dave Bailey in the 49 on the outside. Green flag is in the air.
These two have had a number of battles here in this division, and it's Trevor DeBoer out in front. So far in this one, he's got 1 win on the season. Dave Bailey has 3, thus he has the point lead coming into tonight. But DeBoer has looked like the stronger car to this point.
Look at that 3-way battle for 7th. Donnie Lampman on the inside, Jim Lampman in the middle, Rob Hoskins on the outside. Out in front is Trevor DeBoer by a handful of car lengths over Dave Bailey, and Chris Hale trying to fend off Ryan Denning for that 3rd spot. Go Fast People keeps sliding back, but he won't give up. He'll fight back, and here he is battling from the 5th spot, trying to make a move on Dinning for 4th.
Trevor DeBoer came into tonight's 2nd place in the points, 57 points behind that guy right behind him, Dave Bailey. Brewster Baker in the 49. This time by, they'll see 2 laps left to go, and Trevor DeBoer looking for win number 2 on the season in the Caledonia. Auto value number 23.
Twice more around as Dave Bailey applying the pressure, closing in. It's about a car length and a half to the 23 of Trevor DeBoer. DeBoer to the bottom in 3 and 4, but the car drifts up the racetrack. Dave Bailey able to keep that car pinned to the inside. 1 more lap to go.
Final time around for Trevor DeBoer, looking for career win number 4 in the Middleport Mechanical Thunder Stock Division. Dave Bailey within a car length. We'll get it out there in corner number 3. As they work it through 3 and 4 the final time, Trevor DeBoer is going to see the double checkers and pick up his 4th career win over Dave Bailey. Chris Hale will finish in 3rd. Brian Dinning, a solid 4th place run. And Ken Sargent will cross the line in 5th. Go Fast People back there in 6th. Logan Schwedick 7th. 8th and 9th, Jim and Donnie Lampman. And I didn't catch whether it was Rob Hoskins or Ryan Beagle that made it into the top 10 there. I believe it was Beagle. So Beagle, after the right front flat, works his way back up into 10th. And those are the kind of nights where when you do have problems, you can get back up into the top 10 at the end of the year in the standings. That could pay off big time.
Those are the nights you remember, you know, when you look back and regroup on the season, when you're able to fight hard and regroup and come back for a top 10 finish. I've got to reply to Hunter Hurtendi because he said Greg and Adam and Clinton should have an eat-off at the Burger Barn, and I'm sorry, but I do not eat for competition. I eat for pleasure. I will be happy to partake, but I'll be sitting back and enjoying.
Yeah, I don't think I'd be good at that.
Great sprint car feature event rolling out onto the racetrack. A great job by Clinton Jeffrey, Doug Leonard, and the crew to keep things rolling, trying to get this program in for you, and I think we're going to.
Gary Calling wants to know if you eat plant-based meat.
Yeah.
All the meat I eat comes from a plant somewhere, but we're talking a slaughter plant, not a vegetable plant.
Oh, wow.
Sorry for all the PETA fans out there.
Wow. You asked me if I eat plant-based burgers. Are you buying?
Not if it's plant-based.
Here's the starting lineup for the Strickland's GMC Crate Sprint. Starting on the bowl from Caledonia in the 88 is Jesse McDonald. Alongside him from Thamesford, 14 is Eric Gledhill. In 3rd in the 5D from Port Colborne, Jacob Dykstra. Starting 4th from Brantford, the 49L, Lucas Smith. Starting 5th, the 52 out of St. Thomas is Jesse Costa, and starting 6th from Freelton, the 43 is Darren Dryden. Starting 7th from Hamilton, the 56 is Derek Lemaire. Starting 8th from Mount Bridges, the 45, Nick Sheridan. Starting 9th from Beachville, the 5 is DJ Christie, and alongside him from Vanessa, the 4 is Hannah Farrell. Starting 11th from Woodstock, the 29W is Tyler Ward. Starting 12th from Fonthill, the 08 is Stephen Beckett. Starting 13th from Ushweek, the 9C, Brian Nanakoke. Starting 14th, the 29 out of Binbrook is Liam Martin. Starting 15th from Ushweek, the 28 is Jordan Hill. Starting 16th from Burford, the 12 is Brad Herring. Starting 17th from Six Nations, the 20 is Johnny Miller. Starting 18th from Kitchener, the 50 LS, Adrian Staley. Starting 19th from Rockwood, the 74 is Rob Neely. Starting 20th from Beamsville, the 1A is Paul Klager. Starting 21st in the 49H out of Hagersville is Jerry Hill. Starting 22nd from Waterloo, the 19D is Alan Downey. Starting 23rd in the 3B from Welland, it's Blaine Barrow. And rounding out the field from Scotland, the 83 is Spencer Davis. 24 cars scheduled to start the feature event in the Strickland's GMC Crate Sprints. 20 laps will be the distance.
More fireworks lighting up the sky as we get ready for the A-Main for our Crate Sprint Car Division. Brought to you by Strickland's. 20 laps will be the distance. Shout out to our DJ Darren Shawcross. Notice no tunes tonight across the PA. Darren is down in Pictou, Nova Scotia watching live, and he'll be away next week as well. So if you're a DJ and looking for something to do next Friday night, boy, do we have a job for you. It's for only 1 week, though. We need Darren back. And hi to Lorraine, former employee here at Sweet Speedway, sitting on the boat watching racing. Wow.
Given the weather that I've seen blow around here tonight, I'll take my chances on this stool, thank you.
J.R. Taylor says, when I was a kid, I stayed home. If I stayed home, I had yard work to do, so I always went out on my bike. I'm going to try that this week with my wife.
I'm all about it. Not with the wife, with the kids. Well, guys, we are watching the skies here. It is spinning a little bit, but track's still in good shape, so we're going to give our best to get through it.
Kudos to the track crew. Jesse McDonald on the inside, Glenn Hill on the outside, green flags in the air.
Jesse McDonald, as you've documented, Adam, has had a treacherous few weeks in that Enrium Dynamics 88. Here he is at the front of the field, and he's got the point leader right behind him.
Lucas Smith to the inside of Jesse down through 3 and 4. He won't clear him. DJ Christie up off the banking. Great save by Christie in that bright yellow number 5.
Out in front, it continues to be McDonald and Smith. The Massage Pro 49L right behind the Enrium Dynamics 88. The top two trying to break away from Eric Gledhill and Darren Dryden, two of the newcomers in this division.
Darren Dryden trying to run the bottom in that 43. You can see the car pretty loose down there. I think he's got to find a line a little bit higher on the racetrack, but he does a great job off of turn 2, getting a good run down the backstretch.
Lap number 3 goes on the board. 17 to go for Jesse McDonald, driving the Glenn Stires Racing 88. Lucas Smith second, Darren Dryden third. Fourth now is Nick Sheridan. The youngster just continues to get better and better every week, and he's up there in the top 5 again.
He's a big star here at the racetrack, and I think he's going to stay that way for a long time to come. Hopefully we keep him here on the dirt side of things.
Jacob Dykstra trying to close in on Nick Sheridan, another one of those young drivers saying, I don't want Nick to get all the praise right now. I want to be considered as one of the up-and-coming stars as well, and he's got a number of wins in this division, fighting hard for 4th.
Out in front is Jesse McDonald by half a straightaway over Lucas Smith in the 49L. Smith tags the wall on the backstretch. If he didn't, he came awfully darn close off of turn number 2.
Smith losing ground now to Jesse McDonald, who's out in front. Now Darren Dryden slips to the inside of Lucas Smith. Best night by far for Darren Dryden. That Durham Motorsports number 43's got that DJD Graphics car slinging in there for a second place run right now with Lucas Smith.
It's only a matter of time before he figured things out. He's just a great race car driver. And when you have those kind of skills, Greg, and you get into decent equipment like he's in with Jeff Durnan, you knew he was going to learn how these things work.
Jesse McDonald beginning to catch the tail of the field. The first car that is in his sight, Spencer Davis, his teammate, in car number 83, the final car to transfer through tonight's B main.
Lucas Smith changing things up a little bit, went down to run the bottom line. Let's see if Darren Dryden will run the outside in 1 and 2. Dryden to the inside. He takes over the position, but Smith able to beat him off the turn with a big head of steam down the backstretch.
Cross flags up in the air for your leader, Jesse McDonald, and he hasn't managed to pull that far away from second and third right now. This race far from over is a spin right in front of the leader. Oh, Tyler Ward went around.
Wow, Jesse McDonald, his first instinct, I think, was to cut under the Tyler Ward number 29. He realized a great reaction, realized that wasn't going to work, turned the car back to the right, and managed to get around the situation in turn 2.
Well, guys, quick word on the leader, Jesse McDonald. I got word this week that he was supposed to be sitting out, but don't think he told the parents that he was planning on racing, but They were working on the car. They did get it ready. I'm sure Jesse's glad he's back behind the wheel. But as we thought, we didn't think he was going to be here tonight. Here he is out front.
Well, it's easier to beg forgiveness than ask permission, right?
Well, let's quickly talk about Josh Hill and his situation. You know, he came out on Facebook yesterday and said, hey, I'm going to man up and say I can't race. And I think it's a very mature thing to do. A lot of these guys have that old, I got to play tough, even if I'm hurt. And good to see Josh do the right thing and sit down this week and give his head the chance to fix it up.
It's a hard decision to make, and just in the last few years with all that we hear about concussions in sports and injuries and things of that nature, and I don't mean to refer to NASCAR constantly, but I think Dale Jr. sitting out and saying, hey, I can't race, was big for the sport in general to say, you know what, it's okay.
It was big for the participants, right? Not even for the sport. It was big for everyone who had those feelings, and there's no benchmark. There was nobody to say, look, I got to step aside. Some of them have come back, some of them don't come back, but just the fact that it's an option.
10 in, 10 to go. Strickland's Brantford Chevrolet Crate Sprint Car Division. Jesse McDonald leading over Darren Dryden, Lucas Smith, Jacob Dykstra, and Stephen Beckett. Want to know why Stephen Beckett has been up in the points all year? Because he's been having runs like this. Very quietly up there, top fives, top tens, still in the thick of the points battle.
Green flag is out, 10 laps to go in this Crate Sprint Car feature event.
Here comes Smith back to the inside of Darren Dryden, gets the second spot back, but Darren Dryden fights back on the inside line going into corner 3.
Side by side, wheel to wheel through 3 and 4 go Darren Dryden and Lucas Smith.
And we've got one with a top wing flipped over. Is that Hannah Farrell? Yes, it is. Her top wing has totally caved over, lost the right side brackets. The braces on that have come undone.
Yeah, that's
take that car to the pit area.
That's not one you see every day.
Wow, Liam Martin with a nice move to get by Nick Sheridan. Some good battling going on behind the top 5. As here comes Sheridan, back by Liam Martin off of corner number 2.
You know, there's no quit in these youngsters. Lucas Smith on that restart drove right by Darren Dryden. He didn't pack up and set sail. He put his foot to the floor, figured out a way to challenge it back and retake that position. Now Jacob Dykstra up to 3rd, TJ Christie on the outside in that 5. There's action everywhere.
I was just about to mention DJ Christie. Adam, you remember at the top of this feature event, he got way up high in 3 and 4, lost a lot of track position and was towards the back, but here he is knocking on the door of the top 5.
Jacob Dykstra gets around Darren Dryden for second. Can he set sail on Jesse McDonald and close in on the leader with 5 laps to go?
Leader way out in front right now for Jacob Dykstra, Darren Dryden, Stephen Beckett, and then behind the top 4, it's complete insanity right now as the caution flag will fly. Is this a stuff caution?
It's a weather caution, I think, maybe.
Racetrack.
Oh, yes.
So guys, we are watching it around here down at the track level. They have watched it. We have tried to get as far as we can. We are not calling it yet. They're going to try and spread these cars out, see if we get a gap in the weather. We will not be doing any victory lanes at the end of this one, we can guarantee. So we will have all our victory lanes at 7:25 next week. But we are going to see if this one can come back together. So hang tight, guys.
It is a very small green cell on the radar map right now going over us. It's light rain, and then there's nothing in behind it for quite some time. So the question is, how slow will this little system move over us?
Spencer, if you could hear me, run that ad for us for the Northern Summer Nationals while we figure out what the plan is going to be here. Give us a minute or two. They're spreading them out. We'll watch and see if the rain slows down or picks up, guys.
Ohsweken Speedway presents the Northern Summer Nationals, featuring 3-time NASCAR champion Tony Stewart, Xfinity champion Christopher Bell, and and sprint car superstar Rico Abreu. It's 2 exciting nights of wild dirt track action. It all kicks off Monday, July 22nd and Tuesday, July 23rd. On Monday, the big guns will strap into 360 sprint cars and battle the best drivers in the Northeast, along with dirt late models, the Canadian UMP Modified Challenge, and the always wild mini stocks. And on Tuesday, Tony, Christopher, and Rico are back in the 360s, and to fill out the night, the 360 sprint cars will be joined by the race of champion Dirt Sportsman, the always thrilling Thunderstocks, and round 6 of the Action Sprint Tour. Adult reserve tickets are only $30. Log on to Ohsweken Speedway today for your camping and ticket reservations. Don't miss the biggest racing party of the summer. It's Tony, Christopher, Rico, and the best drivers in the Northeast, July 22nd and 23rd at Ohsweken Speedway.
What makes a trailer a Miska? Is it the heavy-duty Canadian steel they're made from? Or is it the exceptional finish that will last year after year? How about knowing that these are the best backed trailers in the industry? These are the reasons you buy Miska. So what makes these trailers a Miska? It's the hard-working Canadians who craft them. We are Miska. We are Canadian tough.
When you think about it, productivity starts at planting. So it's time to rethink how productive your planter can be. We did with the new Case IH 2000 Series Early Riser Planter. We rethought your row unit so it's tougher, more accurate. We rethought your meter, took the most precise technology, factory installed it. We rethought every inch of the Case IH Early Riser Planter to make it the most productive planter around. And if you think about it, that's exactly what you want.
And I was in the middle of getting that done. Double checkers on the field, folks. Wait for official word from Clint.
Well, with only the mini stocks left to run their feature, what a great job by Clinton Jeffrey, Doug Leonard, the track crew, these race teams. I didn't know if we were going to get to go racing tonight, Greg, for sure, but we got it in. The sprint cars, the crate sprints, we saw some fantastic racing. We saw the mini stocks makeup feature, so you basically saw 4 feature events tonight.
Well, guys, that's going to do it for tonight's program. The cell is over top of us. It's going to keep going. This will be official 15-lap race for the crate sprints. Their race is done. The mini stocks who are qualified, we'll have to get that in next week at some point. So we thank everybody for hanging around. We did hustle our best to get it in. But that's going to be the end of tonight's program on Case IH O'Neill's Night here at Ohsweken. Thanks, everybody, for your patience. Make sure you come back next week. It's bike night. And don't forget, Northern Summer National tickets are available. Greg and Adam, finish us off.
So Jesse McDonald picks up the win and gets his 5th career crate sprint car victory. Congratulations go out to him. And again, the mini stocks will have to wait another week. And I guess the silver lining for most of them, other than those that weren't here last week that came to qualify for tonight, most of them did get a feature in tonight, but they'll have to do another one possibly next week. We'll see how the schedule works out because we also have the vintage cars on the schedule next Friday night. So stay tuned to OhswekenSpeedway.com for that information as it becomes available. Again, we thank all of you for joining us here tonight, and for those watching online as well, thank you for tuning in on Facebook and YouTube. Again, join us next Friday night. 7:30 is our start time, and again, it's bike night, so a chance to win a bike here. And race teams will be bringing that. In a couple of weeks' time, it's autograph night. So get ready to meet your favorite drivers on July the 19th down trackside. And a reminder to all those drivers, get those Hero Card orders in. That's my commercial for the night. So that will do it here on Case IH and O'Neill's Farm Equipment Night. I want to thank them for their support. On behalf of the Stiers family, all of our track crew, our officials, and all the fantastic people that make the race nights happen. And on behalf of Clinton Jeffrey and Adam Ross, my name is Greg Kellerman saying thank you for joining us here tonight. We'll see you right back here next Friday night.